Board for Tuesday, October 7th, 2025. We have a very lengthy agenda tonight. We have two applications for special permits. We have 4 petitions, what we're reviewing before the ZBA, and then we have some other business that we have to do, board business. Town Planner Taylor Herman's going to be a few minutes late, so we have Assistant Town Planner Ian Sexton stepping in for us. And I would welcome a vote to move into public hearing for special permit PB 25-5, an application for 972 Main Street.
Do we need to open our, have we opened our meeting?
I think I opened it. I think I opened it. Oh, this is going to open it right now.
Okay.
Okay. Are we moving to open both special permits or just one?
But just post opening the public hearing. And the first thing, the first order of business on the public hearing is that. I think that's how it works.
Sure. I think Jack made that motion.
Yep.
I will second it.
Okay, so we'll go down for a roll call.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Chair votes aye. So with that, we've opened the special hearing for 972 Main Street. The way I'd like this to work is we'll invite them to the table. They've made some changes to their application. We will review that. We'll have any questions we have immediately for them. We'll then see if there are members of the public who have questions about that. So we'll ask them to sit down if there are, and then come back, and then we can discuss. There's lots to talk about on this, so I think the best way is just to kick in and welcome you guys up to the table. I'd like to ask you again, sorry, accuse yourself. You want to bring your laptop too? We know who you are, but for the sake of our recording secretary from afar, if you state your names for the record, and then Ian can help you, or you can help yourself go through the packet as you need. And you have the floor to tell us what you've changed, and we're all ears.
Good evening, everyone. This is Sid Gallup from Treetop Group, the owner and the developer of this project.
And Brigitte Steenes, Inkstone Architects, the architect on the project.
Perfect. So
All right, and I'm going to start with running quickly through what we changed from last time. A lot has to do with the site plan, and maybe we go to the site plan if you can, all the way down. So we included in the diagram the parking radii, which we based on an SUV, a mid-size SUV from our software, what we are using, and made it a little bit enhanced graphically, so it doesn't show everything, made it more graphically appealing, but the radii should be okay. So the parking on the very right, the numbers are hard to read in the gray, yeah, these ones. They were very difficult before because we had the trash location there. Now we moved the trash closer to Glenwood Avenue, and with that, the backing out there shouldn't be a big problem anymore. For the site parking, we are thinking that the parallel parking goes, I mean, the 19 is not a problem, pulls forward, the 17, 18, and the 16, they basically move out of the parking lot. Then they have their own parking lot to turning radius, because we have 20 plus the size of the parking, meaning roughly 30 feet to turn, which is a T-point turning, an easy T-point turning. It does require forth and back, so there's no way you can do that in one stretch, but forth and back is possible. I mean, it's a dense site. Then the other thing we changed there is the parking of 19, that this is the adaptive parking spot, that it could be changed if needed to with a 5-foot strip next to it. Right now we are still in the landscape, we are still showing mulch, but it could be easily converted, and we could also provide just preemptively stone or asphalt there without a problem. We did move, the snow removal area stayed the same, but it got a little bit more space because we are asking that we would think it is beneficial to keep the parking at 20 feet length instead of 22, which gives a lot more space. A lot is exaggerated, but it gives more space in the back and would be beneficial, I think, in the entire site layout. We did add in the front the easier accessible trash and recycling removal, so that the truck, whatever company will be hired for the trash removal, doesn't have to pull in and back out, and it can be done right from the front on the screen, but it's set back enough that the view would be provided for a driver to get in and out of the driveway. One suggestion I would make, and this is not reflected here in the site plan, it's a minor thing, just a graphic thing. I would pull the fence back to where the screening of the trash ends for better viewing.
What do you mean by viewing? Just
the
better
view,
viewing of
the
the
view,
trash?
the view from the if you come out as a driver from the driveway, and you wanna look to the right if a car is coming up the street from Glenwood, I would pull the fence back to where the trash starts. We're talking about 2 feet or so, 2 or 3 feet there.
This vertical line, is that approximately the curb?
I can show that. I can show that here. with
Use the mouse if you-
So this is the fence. What I mean. So the fence is drawn as that, but I would cut that in reality and just stop it here, because if you come out with a car, then your eyes will be about here.
Yes.
And then you're past already from that screen, and you would see if someone is coming up
I see.
or
Okay.
coming down.
I see.
So you have to pull forward, but the screen really ends here, so you would have full vision of this Glenwood Street.
Does anything screen the trash from the street?
Yes.
Okay.
So these are doors.
Oh, I see, okay.
It's
Oh, I
screen
see,
doors, and if you go later to the renderings, you will see that it's fully screened.
Great.
The 2 other containers here are for the commercial unit, because we need to separate them, but they don't also need that much of the big containers. It's just 1 unit. So these are rollable containers, so whenever pickup day is, they would be pulled forward. It's not even clear if it would be the same company picking them up, depending on who they are going to hire. So they could pull them, if it's a different day, they put them here in the front, they can be picked up and they're gone, but they're not interfering with all this traffic here. They would be also screened, so there are also doors in front of it. Then the next thing, these were the major changes here on the outside. The loading stayed and service stayed the same. We still think this is the best place, since it's only very temporary. If an Amazon truck pulls up, delivers, leaves, and the safest way to do it. On the side, we have the transformer in the location. I think we had that last time already. The transformer in the location where we have enough distance, required distance from the building, and still the front space, what we are required to have open and free space. We still have the 3 feet dedication easement on the owner's property, and in the front we did have the lowering of the building last time already. With the ramp, we just got more specific in terms of materials, what we can do, how the ramp is going to look, as we were for last week in front of the design review committee. So we got a little bit more into detail, what kind of stone it is, how the railing is going to look, and so on. We also got someone brought to our attention that these trees here, what we had in here, pear trees, were not non-native to North America, and we replaced them now with North American native trees. And I would need to read the names since I'm not. It's called service tree in the English translation, and it is. I think I wrote it back to Taylor what we are gonna use. So I have to. I wrote it back already, but we're sure we are using something similar in size, but as a North American native tree. This was mostly for the site plan, updated exterior lighting. Yeah, we got also more specific for the design review committee in terms of what lighting we are using, all down lights, no light spilling also to the neighbors, specifying what can be used, the goosenecks for the commercial unit. We did work on the, now I have to scroll down. We worked on the facade, on the side facade quite a bit. Oh, this might be also important to notice for the site plan. We did came up with the concept for the MEP, for the mechanical units, that we can put all the heat pumps, the exterior units on the roof. It's kind of a sunken-in roof that it won't be visible from the outside, but it's all hidden, so no hanging condensers or anything on the wall, nothing visible on the outside, and I think that's a great solution for a tight spot like that.
Yeah.
It was also very appreciated by the design review committee to do that. So you can see it here. So this is the sunken in roof deck. So from the outside you see it as a roof, but inside behind that there are all the units, and they are also easily to maintain because stairs go up there, and all maintenance can be done from there. That was that. Here's the sunken in again, and then we have all the light fixtures, the windows, the colors, and then the new renderings. Not too many changes here. We introduced some verticals. And we worked on particularly on the side, and I think this is here. So the side facade got much better than it was before. You can see here the transformer, the walkway going down. This is the full screen set back from the street. I think that was all the changes. Everything
Can I
else.
ask you a really weedy question
Yes.
about this
Sure.
picture right here?
Yep.
Trash dump truck comes down the street.
Mm-hmm.
Are they going to need to pull in straight? You may not know this level of detail. Are they going to need to turn 90 degrees and pull in straight? And if so, how are they going to do that? And then are they going to need to back out onto Main Street, or are they going to be able to do a U-turn somehow?
I think they do the same thing what they would do for any other property down the street. They're here in the street, they stop, they pull out these containers on rolls, and then they come up. Or it depends on what they are using. So I don't know what kind of containers they are using for the trash. So your question is basically if it's the super heavy, which can be lifted only by a truck, right, and not movable.
I think that's part of my question, but the other part of my question is the town generally doesn't have trash pickup.
I know. I know.
So you're not going to see this on all the other houses.
Right.
So you're also not going to see dump trucks on this road. So this road is not a great road for turning around. There's not a great turnaround on this road for a dump truck. So I'm trying to get my head around. The truck's going to come in. Is it going to have to back out onto Main Street, or is it going to be able to somehow turn around in the spot in any part of?
It would turn in the driveway then, because it's safer than going backing out on Main Street. So the driveway is big enough that the turn can be done
Okay.
to back in and out and going back
Okay.
out. But these are details we still need to work also with the engineers, and they did send comments, so we did see the comments from the engineering department. Not so much on the trash yet, but these are then details we need to figure out how that works. Just a side comes the depths we went with this figuring out what it could be is that we basically looked up the units, how many occupants it has, and how much trash volume should be provided. So the size does not come entirely out of the blue. It did come by a calculation, but a high-level calculation.
Of course.
So I think we know the size, the volume, but we do not know exactly what the companies exactly are using.
Of
So
course.
That's how far we went.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think about how the truck
Yes,
is going to
of
get
course.
in and about,
Yes.
and safety of children on the street with,
Right.
because
Right,
none of the other
true.
houses on the street are going to need to have a dump
True.
truck come. So I just
True.
want to understand that,
Yeah,
but that's perfect.
yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah, but it,
I don't know this, but at what unit count do you have to have group trash removal? Like, could this be on the residents?
it could be, but I thought the homeowner association might be interested in, or
I'm sure the whole
providing.
neighborhood would like to get in on that, but
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
Yeah.
It's a tight spot to have a dump
And
truck come in and
maybe
out.
you're right, it might be that this is not even used. So I don't, honestly, I don't know.
Not every unit has parking,
I just didn't know.
so
if
they
there
won't be able to
was
get to the
Seems like
transfer
a
station.
nice feature for the apartment.
I agree, I'm just trying to understand how it's going to work.
I mean, from a transportation or traffic perspective, it's
Traffic.
also more efficient to have one truck coming instead of 13 units driving separately to the facility of recycling. So that,
Yeah, no, I just didn't know if there was a.
I mean, providing it,
requirement.
at least having the opportunity, I think would be if it's then required or not. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, for the commercial space, is it a requirement for the commercial space?
I have no idea. Do you know?
I would think
I
that
don't believe it's a requirement, but it's definitely a nice to have.
The condos on Pond Street, they do their own trash.
yeah.
With
Yeah,
at least
just
one
never thought
apartment,
about it
if not
before.
maybe two, having no cars, it's not really feasible
Yeah.
to get to the transfer station carrying it on your back like Santa Claus. I mean, that's not going to be.
I mean,
How do the dump stickers work in this situation? I need answers. No, I don't need answers.
I mean, the site plan proves that it is possible. The opportunity is there.
Yeah.
If it's not needed, it can be used for more space for snow removal or for whatever. So the space is there that it can be done. So, and I think that's good to know.
I like the screening in the picture better than in the diagram, because in the diagram I couldn't tell if that fencing is intended to match the fencing that's along there, because no one on that street wants to see the dumpsters right on.
No.
I mean, no one wants to see
No.
that.
No, but this certainly covers it. It's like a fence too.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I talked about enough about the exterior what has changed. The other big achievement was that we got approved for the affordable housing. So we have one two-bedroom unit approved, and this is on the. Thank you. Thank you, Ian. Yes, it's on. Yes, it's on the second floor, which is this one, and the 4B.
It's in front,
B.
okay, I see.
Yeah, it's
3B.
here. It's the 3B here. Yes. So it has plenty of window lines close to the elevator, and yeah, it's very equal to all other
Perfect.
two-bedroom units.
Did the EOHLC opine on parking for that unit?
Yes, so it's the group 1 MAB requirement that it has to be an adaptable space. So that's where I said in the beginning, the site plan has one space here where this area is 5 feet and can be made accessible.
Okay. So that would be the parking space that went with
Yeah,
the affordable unit. Okay.
correct. The other site-related, what is even more important, is that we did get the stormwater plan and the water management plan, and we submitted it. It was not in the original package, but it was submitted on this Monday, so yesterday. The engineering office didn't have time to review it yet. That was too short notice, but it is done by certified engineers and stamped. So we are, I mean, there will be always things which will need to be still worked out. If we're getting deeper in the planning, in the construction, and we certainly, or in the permit, not in the construction, then it's too late. But before, in the planning phase, we will work with the DPW to work that out. We do have, I think that is mostly what has changed since last time. We have now all the team together to work with the passive house consultant. We have all engineers in place to move forward with the passive house planning, driving that forward, and I think we are in good shape for that.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions from the board regarding, let's start with regarding the changes. Then we'll let them go sit down and see if there's questions from the public, and then we'll go back and discuss the project as a whole, if there's any questions in specific about anything they've changed since we last saw this.
No questions.
There'll be plenty of chance to ask questions afterwards. I just want to make sure that,
No, this is very clear. Thank you.
I don't know if this is specifically to changes or not, so I'll just ask it and you can defer it if that's helpful. So there's more space for snow removal, which is great. And, I mean, we keep making great strides, so kudos for all the hard work you've put into this project. If it's the rare year that we all believe is going to happen and never does, that where we get a ton of snow, this is going to be a mess. Like, I don't know where, you're not going to fit snow in that section between these 4 cars. There's no way to sort of eliminate the snow. And so have you looked at all into executing an agreement with the property next door for those spaces if it's just too hard to get in and out?
I mean, if it is the winter of the 10 years or 100 years in the area, one is having an agreement, the other one is doing the same what Cambridge and Boston does, is snow removal and carrying it and basically getting it out this one winter. To hire a company and just getting it out to a site. That's what all Cambridge does, it was Boston does. The closer you get to the city, they all have to do that because they don't have the space.
They're dumping it in the bay though, right? Where
No,
do
they are not allowed to do anymore. No,
Okay,
no,
that's good.
no.
Remember the pile in South Boston?
No.
was it
Yeah,
until
that's-
June?
Yeah, exactly. It was still sitting there.
Yeah.
Not this year.
Until
10 years ago, actually. 2015.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember that. But they have locations where they're allowed safely to put the snow removal, and that would be like a service, like a landscape service or any other service you can hire.
Okay, and then how do we make sure, how do we as a board make sure that we just put that in our conditions or
Would
something?
that be written into the homeowners association agreement? Is that, I'm not familiar with this.
It could be written there. It could be written there that in an extreme situation where when they're running out of space, that it has to be either going through an agreement with their neighbors or with a company has to be hired to do that.
Yeah, I would assume that the homeowners association would be hiring a vendor to clear the snow.
I think so.
Yep.
And they know I haven't looked into that detail, but they know where they can dump it and their costs associated to that, but assuming it's just every 10, let's not say every 10 years, or it's this year and we haven't built it, then we have another 10 years.
I just think I think at least those 4 corner spaces would be pushed to the street, and that would be a big disservice to the neighbors. So I think it's important that we make sure we keep that in mind before we
Well,
totally
they can't
wrap
park
this
in the
project.
street, especially if there's, you mean park in the street?
But like during the day, I mean, I would never put my cars in those 4 spots in the winter because there'd be no way to get in and out. I mean,
I
everything will
mean,
be
for those
switched
of us
this
who have
way.
no garage, we're used to.
No, but just those 4 corner ones where they have to be able to back
They have to
out
be able
to
to
let
do it.
another car out. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like that. Just those 4. The rest of them I can.
The one that
we'll work
concerns me
around it.
more than that actually are, I can't read the number, the last 2.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
plows-
Those 2,
the
but I
plows-
also think
No, I mean the last 2 in the garage, because the plow's going to come in and push
That's what I
straight
mean.
back. And those last 2 in the garage.
those are the 2. Those
Yeah.
are the 4 I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I think 4, but
At
definitely
least
2.
the 2, when there's a pile there, it's going to be hard for them to get out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Anyway, that's.
no, that's a good
Yep.
point.
I have another question, but it's not related to
and
changes, so
yeah.
I'll punt it.
I just want to give a, Nick, do you have any questions about the changes, the proposed changes, before we get public comment and then come back to, for thorough discussion?
I don't have anything at
Okay.
this time.
Okay. So I have no questions about the changes at this point in time. So I'm going to see, is anybody here from the public who would like to make public comment or has a question about the project? Perfect. So if you guys could just sit back there, come on up to the table. We may know you, but state your name and address for the public.
Hi, Maureen Meister, former town meeting member, former planning board member, semi-retirement, I guess.
And I'm just going to say, I'm not going to cut you off, but everybody gets 3 minutes is how long.
Oh.
So if you start going way over, you'll see me saying, are you almost done? So just know that.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, because this is your first big project on North Main Street, and I've certainly been around the block with rezoning on Main Street. The goal, of course, was that you brought this before town meeting with the idea that you're going to improve the development that follows on North Main Street. This is, and I don't like looking at that picture. If you can please put on one of the elevations, maybe one of the renderings, it would help us understand. That's the big point. We're talking about garbage here and turnarounds. That is not going to improve the look of North Main Street. No, go back one if you would, please, whoever is doing that. Yeah. It just is, we go up and down Mass Ave going whether to Cambridge or Arlington. This is not going to enhance the street at all. The massing is pretty good. I won't say it's not, but then I was trying to go through here with my phone, looking up your new zoning for the North Main Street. The one thing right now is that it says details, development bordering the public domain must be rich in architectural details. There's no architectural detail here. We don't even get good overhangs on the roof. And then once you get into the two gables, the two gables, you've got no overhang. You want some overhang. This thing needs some shadow. It's all, I don't know what the materials are. You probably do, but I'm assuming it's not wood. So there's no texture to it. It's some plastic thing that's a composite. So you've got no shadow. You've got no smaller forms. The human body does respond. Your brain responds to small forms. There are no small forms here. You want divided lights. You're not going to get them, but at least they can be fake. So overhang. You want divided lights. You want to actually understand and see samples of materials, and you want to actually know what they are before you approve this thing. You can do that. And then that little bit of, I don't know if that's wood. It's going to look terrible. We've seen that around town. It just wears. So I don't know what that is or if it's fake wood, but and even the gray colors underneath these two gables, it just looks like a modern McMansion. You know, it used to be stone veneer. Now it's the gray thing. But you've got a building that needs a lot of work. And talking about garbage is really inappropriate at this time. This is not going to improve the street. So I don't know if that's my 3 minutes. But I do urge you to look back at the zoning bylaw, the zoning, and look at that very small section. And then you do have some design standards. And you should be calling out and looking one by one and saying, does this meet your own design standards? Because this is not an attractive building. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Are there additional questions or comments from the public? Seeing none, I will close public comment. This is now our chance to discuss. We can invite them back if we have questions for them, if we have things we want to talk about. I guess I could go first.
Please.
I have been impressed every time you come back. I like it more and more. That was the time. Every time you come back, I like it more. I like the changes that you've made along the way. I love the way the mechanicals are hidden away. I think that was a really good addition. I'm really pleased with this project and the activation of the street. I think where and so sandwich feedback, I think my concern is that we received a memo from the town engineer, which I know you received. We got it late today. You got it late today. So I don't know that any of us have had a chance to sort of go into it. But I would, if you are ready to, I would welcome if you're able to address anything in that memo. It's in the packet on, for those looking at home, on page, looks like 81 maybe?
Oh, it's at the end, okay.
Page 81. Because what we have from the town engineer is asking us to hold off on making a vote to move forward, essentially, until some of these things are addressed. So I would welcome you to come up if you want to and see if you're able to address any of these now. If there are things, I mean, there's a couple ways to deal with this. We could see if the board wants to move forward with conditions on meeting these things, or we could try to address these things and have a more full vote of the board. I mean, there's different ways to do this. So I open up to you if you are able to address. We only saw it this afternoon late too, so it's not like we have a lot of time to look at it.
Sure, me neither. So it was 3:30.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, the points were not all new, and I think the points showed that there are the town engineers. So we are trying to work towards the guidelines of Winchester, which is asking more for densification and for livelihood and so on, and that requires also some densification. Otherwise, you don't have the livelihood on the street, which comes with parking conflicts, and that is exactly where we are right now, and we should try together to find the best balance of these worlds. And I think that's what we, as a team, kind of trying to work out together with the engineers you hear with the design review board last week, and we behind the drawing board. So.
Can you remind me the design review committee voted favorable action?
Yes, all
Unanimous, was it?
unanimous.
Thank you.
Yes. So the first comment is the sightlines of the relocated dumpster. I tried to address that in my comment with the site plan, that it's set back enough that the view, maybe I'll go back to the site plan, that it is, oops, back to this, yeah, if we can go back to this.
We need Ian to run that, and the rest of us can't run that machine.
Yeah. Thank you.
We've lost
Yeah,
it.
this one is great. So what I meant with that in the beginning is that I would take this fence going almost all the way to the street, taking it back to the trash, right, and cutting it off there, that if you pull forward with your car, that you have the full sight of the Glenwood Street coming up. I think that was the first comment. I think that is good to address. The adaptive accessible space does not contain an accessible aisle. Well, it's a parallel one, so we have the 5 feet, and we can make that, and that's why I kind of explained in the beginning, where we are showing mulch and not showing any plant. We haven't even shown plantings because we say it should be easily adaptable, but we can show asphalt all the way, that we have the full 5 feet of space next to the parking. I think that's also one we can address.
And if we do that, if you do that, we lose the 5-foot green buffer in the process of doing, I mean, I
Yeah,
just want to
it's not
understand what the
Yeah,
trade-off of doing
right.
that
It's
is.
it's not a green buffer anymore, but there's from a percolation requirement, we don't have that, so it's just an open space. So we can make that asphalt without compromising the numbers of the water management plan. Given the lack of an aisle with parking is depicted on the plan, driver's side passengers will have to use the landscaped area. So it will be not the landscaped area then anymore. It will be a hard surface. Will be an issue in the winter. Yes, I mean, of course, that cannot be used as a snow storage space. I mean, that is. I think that needs to be clear that in that 5-foot buffer, there can't be snow.
It will be when
I
the
think
snow
snow's
falls.
really hard to picture until it happens, then everyone brushes off their car and this whole thing's a mess.
Well, mostly what I'm thinking is not that it gets plowed there. When we get a foot of snow, there's going to be a foot of snow there. It's not going to get plowed. If the car's parked there, it's not going to get plowed over there. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about this. I'm not saying.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Churning radiuses, we can continue working with the engineers on the turning radius. We have used our radius, what we have from our program, from our software. If they would like to see something different, we are very happy to address that. But from my own experience as a driver, I know that I can turn my car there on a 30 feet space. So it's even more than 30 feet. So I don't see an issue to have, it's basically 32 feet, what you have if you're coming out turning. It's not the easiest, it's not the most convenient in one stretch, but fourth back will get you there. It's more urban, it's more urban parking, yeah. But we are happy if they want to see different radiuses, we can put them in, no problem. The recycling and trash dumpsters appear to conflict with the turning movements to access tandem spaces 8 and 15. So what they are saying is these are the front ones.
no, I think they're the back ones that I think it was before you moved the trash.
Oh,
I think it was when
right,
they were.
that could be.
I think
Because the trash does not conflict
it no longer
with that
does.
anymore. Yeah, right. So that is a no. Then it should be noted that the loading services conflict with parking access to the first 2 parking bays. Yes, we did talk about that and took that compromise as it's only very temporary. Like you wait in the street because if you comparing it always to different towns, but if you're in Somerville, you have to wait until the UPS cuts their stuff out, and then you get in. That's an inconvenience which comes with densification, I would say, and that's what I meant with my initial when I started saying there's a conflict there between the older requirements where we're so used in the metro area that we don't have these conflicts, but if you ask for densification, then we will have some sort of inconveniences, and I think that is one, but it's a safe one, and it would mean that the first driver in the corner would need to wait until the UPS guy is back, but it might be 2 minutes. So I think that's doable.
Is the intention that the UPS truck that pulls into that spot there would back out? Or would they go forward and do a multi-point turn in the back? I'm just curious, again, thinking about backing out onto that.
I guess it depends on the size.
Does, yeah.
I think if it's a small Amazon, he will turn, and if it's a bigger one, he probably needs to back out.
Okay.
And I think it's more what the driver really does.
Yeah, I mean, they'll do what they do, regardless of what you plan,
Right.
but it's a good question.
Practically, if Amazon or UPS, and if they're putting boxes in the vestibule in the front, I think they'll just stop and on the main street. They're not gonna come to Glenwood and go and do the walk, right?
Yeah, right. And then there was no comment on the conditional approval that there's no loading on Main Street and Glenwood. I think that's fine, and they had no comment on that. They are still waiting for, or they said site plans were received, but they had no time to comment on it, and same here. We will work with them if they have any comments on that, and sizing or whatever they can give us an input in. Parking space 19 is designated as a potential accessible space but lacks an accessible aisle. I don't know what they, yeah, that's what we talked about.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yep.
Rear commercial dumpster, we talked about that. That's the commercial unit where I said that these are smaller bins if they are needed at all and will be pulled forward. As a condition of approval, the board should consider requiring the applicant to close the existing driveway opening on Main Street using granite curbing. All sidewalks damaged as part of the work should be replaced as directed by staff. I mean, right now, the Main Street doesn't even have a real curb because it's all driveway. So it's lowered. So the whole thing will be redone. Anyway, so we should talk to them what they exactly mean with that comment. So there will be no driveway situation anymore. There will be a curb in one way or the other. The board should require granite curbing be installed along the frontage on Glenwood Avenue to provide a protective barrier for pedestrians. Along Glenwood, well, we do provide on owner's property the 3 feet already as an easement in addition to that what is there. And the street gutter line should be established as a road with consistent remainder of the street rather than skewing towards the entrance as it currently does. I'm open to that, what advice they give us, what is safer. In this plan, we could take only what is there, basically, what is existing, what is town, where are the property lines, and working with the property lines as they are, but happy to work that out if there's a better solution. The minimum sidewalk width on Glenwood should be 4 feet to comply with MassDOT requirements. Also, a 5 width is strongly recommended. Well, a 5 foot on Glenwood is certainly in the beginning there, but Glenwood is a small street, so it can be as wide as the street is my answer to that. And it is together the 3 feet plus whatever slivers there from the town is 4 feet until it basically hits the transformer on that height. So there is a 4 feet currently already in there. It's just a combo between, it's 2 different properties. One is town property, one is owner property, but in reality you won't see a dividing line, so it is 4 feet. And we can take it further, but that is town property, so we don't have any jurisdiction over that. But of course, we would be happy to work together if something comes from the town and say they want to extend it, that we do a smooth transition into that and to get there. The board should consider as a condition of approval requiring the applicant to mill and overlay the site frontage on Glenwood and mill and overlay Main Street. I do not fully understand that. From the curb line to the center line. These areas will be damaged by utility cuts, curb installation, and construction vehicle wear and tear. DPW has indicated that the street is recently paved and under moratorium.
Sounds like something to meet with them.
That is something on the meeting I do not exactly understand.
I mean, we don't have the town engineer here tonight.
What it means, yeah. We recommend the spaces reserved for employee parking only be signed as such. There is no assigned employee parking, so I do not understand that comment. I also would need to ask what that means. We understand that a 5 foot wide landscaping buffer is required in the rear. However, only 4.5 feet is provided, as the dimension shown on the plan includes an asphalt berm to separate the paved area. Well, the curb which is shown there, if we do that as an adaptable parking space, would go away, of course. So it would be one flush, plain parking space 5 feet, and then it's 5 feet. So we have a dimension line in there which goes from the parking spot line to the fence, to the property line. So we do have the 5 feet. The curb and sidewalk and glenwalk should be extended to provide a defined driveway opening and prevent vehicles from parking in front of the dumpsters. Yeah, sure, that's okay. Given the amount of excavation in the rear corner of the site, it is unlikely that the 2 trees shown to be protected will survive. I don't know. I went to a site today in Arlington where we did a big development, and we thought we could not save the trees there, and they were even closer. The buildings are standing, the tree is still there, and we did all the effort to save it, and we did. And yes, there's a chance that they die during construction, but I have done construction, I've seen it, and if we put effort in, I think we can save them, because I think it's beneficial for the trees, for the entire lot development. And if not, we can do replacement plantings. The striped crosswalk shall be ladder style and in line with the existing accessible ramps. Okay, yeah, that's a good comment, and we need to work on that, maybe moving the ramp, that it's all one line. We wanted to have the striped crossing set in, because we cannot have it right at the street, so we will work probably with the ramp, that it's one line, and that's, of course, no problem to address that.
That's very helpful,
I hope
everything.
I addressed all the
Yeah,
all
no,
the
that's very
comments.
helpful. Some of those, I think, will require, if we make a vote tonight, some of that will require discussion with the town engineer after the fact and the town planner. If we don't make a vote tonight, some of that can be discussed with the town planner and town engineer for a future vote. So I just wanted to set that up, that's like,
I mean,
what I'm thinking.
our interest would be a conditional. We are open to a conditional vote. If that is an option, we are very open to that
Okay.
for
Okay.
discussion.
okay.
Thank you.
So it's our chance to talk. We can continue to ask them questions or kick them off the table, whatever you guys want. If you have questions,
I would, at the risk of dragging this out too long, I will reiterate what you just said in your comments, that I appreciate all the effort that you put into this and the responsiveness. I just had one point that was really kind of self-directed. We have our suggested 16 conditions, and I think they're all appropriate except for one, and I have a question about it. Perhaps, I don't know, Taylor can answer it, or we can kick it around ourselves. This is number 8. Deliveries shall be directed to the rear of the building. Clear signage and pavement markings shall be installed to indicate that deliveries are not permitted from Main Street. That's all well and good, but I think that in a sense we are restricting the kind of commercial business that can operate there if we require the deliveries to be in the back. Almost any weekday you go down Main Street in the center of town and you'll see Coca-Cola trucks double parked delivering to the various, you're never going to get a semi-tractor trailer truck down into that space, and if you do, you're going to block all the garages, and then there'd be a real difficult situation to get out of there. I don't know, I mean, I think it would be, I would rather see this condition modified or edited a bit so that it's an option. That, for instance, a UPS truck or an Amazon truck would be encouraged to go down there. But I think if we prohibit any delivery trucks from stopping in front of the building, you're immediately going to say, well, no liquor store will go there because most liquor trucks are big. Same with a convenience store that's delivering Coca-Cola or Frito-Lay snacks. Those are all big trucks. So I would not want to tie the hands of the applicants by saying you can't have those kinds of businesses there, because I imagine there's going to be, it's not going to be easy to fill that space. I concede that, but I think by opening it up to almost any kind of business would be much better, and I would like to soften that language if I could.
so I like that suggestion. We should probably go through all of the proposed conditions that we have here, or at least the ones Are you in receipt of the recommendations, the staff report from the town planner?
Yeah,
With the
yeah,
proposed
yeah,
recommendations?
yeah.
Okay, so then we don't necessarily need to go through them all. I just wanted to make sure
No,
we
I
would
went-
have to
I went through them
reference.
closely, and I'm happy with all of them, with that one exception.
Okay,
I think that we should ask for the conditions, but I agree I agree with this suggestion that we modify 8, but we should ask for the others.
any additional discussion from the board about, I mean, so let me ask a question of the board. Maybe I will kick you back, and we'll welcome you
Okay.
back again.
All right.
Sorry, I just don't want to.
It's not you, it's us.
Not you, it's us. This is an open-ended question to the board. Are we prepared to make a vote tonight conditional on both these conditions and getting, which includes working out with the town engineer, town planner, a number of things that are still outstanding, with appreciating that if correcting those could potentially make a change in the building.
Yeah, I think there's way too much outstanding to vote tonight, personally.
So that's what I want. That's what
Yeah.
I want to get a feeling from the board, if they were ready to vote with conditions, or if they were more comfortable having those conditions
Yeah,
addressed
I
before.
agree.
I'm okay with a couple pivot points, but once we start playing Plinko, I'm out. I think this is
That's why I
going a
wanted.
lot
That's
of
why I
ways.
wanted to get the feeling from the board.
I was ready, but I will concede the point.
I mean, it seems like a couple of thoughtful discussions will wrap up engineering, but I just don't know what the outcome of those discussions will be, and I don't want to have to rescind something we approved. I don't know, when do you want us to just raise concerns that have not a
Everything.
proper
Right
place?
now. Right
Okay.
now. Right now. But
Well, okay, so I just
Don't go
want
back and
to,
forth.
can I just make a comment
Please.
that I don't think it'll be long? At the last meeting, I had asked for certain contextual details, double-hung windows with divided lights, and the applicant said, well, we can't do that because there's an issue with the efficiency and the rating of the, what they call it, self-sustaining or whatever it is. And I had asked for details, contextual details, in the look of the building, like brackets, in the overhang. We did hear tonight that we could get more in terms of the design. I don't know what the appetite for this group is in doing that at this point. I mean, we got a vote from the Design Review Committee that is not asking for that, but I don't want this to be a precedent. I think that we can do more to have contextual designs. You know, the front, I mean, there could be bracketed porches. I mean, you know, with a real contextual look to it, and this doesn't have the look that would even welcome any of that detail. So I don't want this to be an example of what we should be doing. I mean, the massing is nice. The one thing I've noticed is the roof angles are spot on. The sloping of the roof, all of that. But even if I were to say, you know, add brackets, I mean, they would look ridiculous because the whole building it doesn't even come anywhere near that kind of a contextual look. And at the last meeting, when I brought up these concerns, the applicant refused really to make any changes. They said the DRC voted, but I just wanted to bring that to the attention of the board, that you know, we can probably ask for more, and we probably shouldn't make this a precedent.
Thank you. And just for timeline, the DRC met between when we last met. So the DRC voted after we last met.
I thought they got some feedback, though.
But I was just wanting to make it clear
the
the
applicant
time.
that they got feedback
Yeah.
and they were approved.
Yeah, yeah. No, they didn't get approved till late last week, was it?
Last Wednesday.
Last Wednesday, after we'd met. Your point is still very valid. I just wanted to make sure that, like, the timeline was.
And they're advisory. I
Yeah.
mean, they're an advisory board. They're not a, so if you are you're raising concerns, you're right to raise concerns. I think the material ask of, can we see examples of materials is,
Right.
I don't know what that means. Bring in
There are
like an 8-foot
conditions, I was
board, or
happy to
is
see that
there?
there were conditions in there that enforces that it be built as, what's the term, as drawn, or whatever it is
Yeah.
that is there, and there's some enforcement methods.
Right.
So flipping back to you, Carrie, because we went back and forth in the middle. I don't know if you had more comments.
Yeah, I mean, so if we look at the one where we see the site plan again, one of the intentions for this corridor was to ask for 12-foot sidewalks so that could be space that we interacted with. I know John was there, I know Jack was there when we did our site walk of the street. We had a super fan with us who travels in an adaptive chair, and they kept having to pop into the street. And I don't know if having the building set back, 12 feet plus a few feet of landscaping answers the question of, can we interact on this sidewalk? I don't think we solve the problem of, do we have 12 feet of interactive space if we have a 12-foot setback with landscaping? I don't know the right time to make sure we've protected that, or how to better use it, whether it's more paving with benches instead of more landscaping. I'm always in favor of the greenery, but I think if we build this the way this is built and we extend this the length of the corridor, we've kind of lost our 12-foot sidewalk. And that was a really important feature for North Main, because then we would have this wide, people passing each other and interacting on the street, as opposed to, moving into parked cars, which seem to be increasingly important because of the parking challenges. So that's something that I think we should spend a little more time thinking about. And I am very conflicted on the dumpster, because it is creating more pressure on the parking area, and it's not, I think one of the reasons the town doesn't have that option is because it aggregates trash in a spot, and it's unsightly, and those pieces. And I know the fence is in place, but fences break, and
I would think that I don't know if it's a condition that the fence
Yeah.
be well maintained. I don't, that should be
I
obvious.
know.
They don't want to see the
I'm
fence.
sure it will be, but it's always like,
I'm sure it will be too.
yeah, it's just, if there's somewhere to take pressure off of the site, that might be one. And maybe it makes it a larger dumpster if we get a business that requires more. Who knows? Maybe it's allowing more for the commercial space. Those are some thoughts that I had. I don't disagree on the design. I said right off the bat, I don't like this is not my jam. Like sort of three-toned, very modern building. We could end up with a corridor of this, and then we will have our very historic, brick, lovely downtown, and then a more modern
we
corridor.
need to get a couple buildings that are contextual, and
Right.
I'm sorry to see that this is not, more contextual.
Yeah,
I think we need to work on it.
but it is, it's not unusual in modern design, so I don't know if it's just where design's going. I think that's it from me, but I agree, we have too many outstanding questions to make a final vote tonight, personally.
Okay.
But we're getting there.
Jack, do you have any?
Nope.
So I'll confess I would have been ready for a vote with conditions, but I think the conditions would have, the conditions
Would have
that we
needed
had,
some
it would be the
conditions.
conditions,
Quite lengthy.
it would be the conditions we had, plus addressing all of the things in the town engineer's memo. And the trick with addressing those is some of those might require what we deem as substantial changes, and then we're going around, and I don't want to do that. So I think everything, I'm very concerned about the traffic flow behind this building. I think it's solvable. I hope it's solvable, but I'm very concerned. But some of it's the problem of the people who buy this. Somebody's going to buy it, and they're going to look behind, they're going to say, I can't get my car in there, so they're not going to buy it. And that's something they're going to have to factor into the price of how they sell it. Somebody says, I can't get my car out.
I think that the applicant made a very good point, that we are just at the edge of the urban area, and if you go into Arlington or Somerville, or even some places in like Medford, or you'll see these kinds of developments where it's not easy to get in and out of them.
Yeah, I mean, you got to get as many parking spaces in there as you can.
Exactly, and I think
you
that-
you can't have the perfect. What is it? The perfect be the enemy of
Good, yeah.
the good.
Yeah, don't
I
agree.
So I think, I would take Bridget's point very strongly.
I guess what I would respond to that is that part of this building is on the it's really towards the edge of our, like, if we look at Main Street, it's almost in Woburn, it's as far out. It's the more residential. It's why I personally don't have a problem with the design, because it's not surrounded by downtown brick buildings. If this were closer to downtown, it would be a more urban setting. I would be less concerned about the parking, and I'd be saying, I don't think that design is contextual for where it is. So I feel like this is more residential.
No, it's still important, though. I mean,
It is,
when
but
you're looking at the run from Winchester to Woburn, I mean, it's got a certain feel to it.
well, my point was, I don't think you can have it both ways and say, this is dense urban, which is our downtown, so therefore the parking has to be tight. But it's also more residential. I see.
One of the things that when we had the consultant, what was his name? What was the consultant's name that was with Foreign Place?
Michael Wayne.
Michael
Michael
Wang.
Wang. And he went into some great detail talking about the whole North Main Street accommodating density in a way that Winchester really hasn't seen before. So I think the intent, at least from what I read from some of his comments with the whole zoning, was that, yeah, we're going to see density as we move up there, and that's part of the point of the rezoning of North Main, is to allow greater density with offsets where we can get retail at the first floor, it's this and that. So we are looking at a different paradigm in terms of the relationship between the building and parking and all of this, you know, as we kind of contemplate the new, you know, the new zoning that we've put in place.
So, Taylor, do you have recommendations of how we should move forward? It sounds like there are some issues that need to be addressed. They could be addressed before or after a vote. Do you have a recommendation on that?
Yeah, so based off of conversations with the town engineer, the building commissioner, it is the staff's recommendation to postpone a vote to at least the 21st, simply to clear up any of the questions that we have. We would welcome a conversation, preferably a meeting with the applicants, have them come in, meet with staff, with the goal that by the time that we meet next time, we have a document of, this is what was raised by staff, this is how the applicant is responding. So that is our recommendation.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to go against your recommendation. So I just want to make sure that everything that's outstanding, what I don't want to do is I don't want to invite them in 2 weeks, have addressed all these things, and have us say, assuming that it doesn't change
Yeah.
the structure, and say,
Yeah.
now we want you to look at this, and because I think that's not fair.
I agree.
I'll say for me, I need to see some effort toward an executed agreement about snow parking, because snow doesn't happen in one brick at a certain height. It happens over a couple of days, and I think these people are in trouble if they don't have an off-site option. So I need to see that was either turned down or at least attempted.
So you're saying that
And that affects the ADA parking, because
does.
that spot would either be displaced or they'd be strictly limited, and we're talking about a bad weather, you know, why, like, can that, I don't know. That feels like a mess to me, but I don't disagree the parking is going to be tricky. It's fine. I just think snow emergencies and the ADA spot need to be in good
So
shape.
are you saying that when it snows, the residents will not be able to park in their lot? Or when
can
when
you
it
picture, I
snows, the
mean,
people that are parking on the street anyway are going to be creating problems?
I just think 4 people go out, brush off their car to get to work, and now no one can get out of the garage because there's a pile of snow in the middle of and we're counting on the plows just being there and being ready. And I think it's going to create real difficulty, and I worry
they won't
about
be
where
able to
they're going to
leave,
go.
but-
When we could just potentially have an executed agreement with Creative Corner, can we throw 4 cars in your lot every time there's a snow emergency?
I see.
That seems much easier to me.
Oh, yeah,
Just knowing, okay, if it snows, go over there, or go to the Winchester, whatever,
Yeah,
whoever.
that makes sense. No, I think
So that is one thing that we would ask them to discuss
just call the owner and see if.
Yeah,
they'll-
yeah, but like come back and I'm just I want a discrete list of things that we're asking for.
Yeah.
And I don't want them to come back and say, well, we don't like the roof pitch, because
Right,
again,
no, I'm with you. I'm trying to be very
yeah.
clear
So I
about
think
what
that- I
would
think
make
that's
me feel
something
better that we've tried.
I think everything in the memo from the engineer needs to be addressed. As Taylor mentioned, it may not be settled. They may not agree, and we'll have to adjudicate. But that are there other things that we are asking for that they bring back to us on the 21st, so that ideally we can take a vote up or down on the special permit.
Do you want siding samples, if possible? Or any specifics on the design, gable detail?
At this point, I mean, I don't think that they've agreed to do anything that I've asked for. I mean, I
Go
suppose-
down swinging, Nick. What do you want?
I mean, I guess we should look at the samples. I mean,
If possible. We'd
If
like to see
possible, okay.
samples of the
So
materials.
that's three specific requests. One, to address the memo from the town engineer. Two, for a snow plan of some sort, at least come back with responses. Three would be siding material samples as appropriate as possible. I mean, is that what I'm hearing from the board?
Yeah,
And what helps your concern about commercial trash removal?
I think it's something we need to work out with staff in terms of rephrasing that to be a little less restrictive.
Okay. So that we can ask Taylor
Yeah.
to address.
I'll talk if you have any questions.
So, to you guys, do you understand what the board is looking for? I tried to narrow it down because I want to be I'm not trying to slow you down. I'm trying to
Get it
hopefully find a way to get to yes at our next meeting. And it sounds like there'll be a lot of legwork on your part coming back on the 21st, which will be online. I'm hoping.
That is hard with the samples.
That is hard with the samples. The samples will potentially have to
Samples
come.
could be made available in Taylor's office.
Be made available to Taylor's office, and members of the board can come into Taylor's office as appropriate.
I didn't know, I had them in the car until yesterday, basically, right now. That's pretty funny.
Okay.
But
At least it's easy.
I didn't know it's relevant, so after we did the design review committee, I was happy to bring that to the office.
Fantastic. That would be very
has design review evaluated in the selections? I mean-
Come on back up. Come on up, back up so you have the microphones.
We brought all the samples, the window samples.
Yeah, I mean,
sound
I don't know that I can
samples,
do more than the
and
design review has done at this
We,
point.
we brought all the hard field, the really touching.
They were there. I saw them.
Oh, yeah, right,
I was in the
right, you
back.
were there, right.
But for the sake of completeness, those three requests, one of them would be to drop them off in Taylor's office. And members of the board can,
That's okay.
We should bring Taylor.
yeah.
Yeah.
No
Yeah,
worries.
yeah.
Okay.
For the windows, just to address that, I did ask our window.
I mean, there are casements.
They are not even SDLs for passive house.
Okay.
They are not available because it's so. It's another.
No, but I mean,
conflict thing.
it's the whole look. I mean, you couldn't have decorative brackets because it's not that kind of a building.
I don't
But
know
you'd have
what
to-
do you mean with brackets?
You'd have to redesign the entire thing. I mean,
What do you mean with brackets? I don't
in
know.
the overhang? You know, the way many of the buildings look here.
Oh.
Yeah, little.
Oh.
Right. I mean,
You know-
right. You would have to redesign the entire thing. It would look ridiculous the way the building
Yeah,
is.
it wouldn't go
set up now.
together.
It would
It wouldn't
not
go
go together.
It wouldn't go
And
together.
I'm not going to suggest you to do something that's ridiculous. But
Yeah, I'm not too much-
I'm not pleased that it's not that kind of a building where it would go together.
I do understand,
Yeah.
but it does go together right
Right,
now, and we
right.
cannot add just something here.
No, you
That
can't.
would be sugar coating.
No, it would be sugar-coated,
Well,
right.
I think we have some marching orders for us and for you.
Sorry.
I'm sorry we couldn't get to a vote tonight, but I think the vote, which hopefully will happen on the 21st, will be even better as a result of this. And we really appreciate everything you've done. You've really made a lot of, like I said, every time I look, it looks better. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, oh yes, motion to continue the public hearing. I gotta get
21st?
to the 21st.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Aye.
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 And welcome back to the table.
Vice Chair.
John Ortiz
You know,
is-
it's been interesting. I don't think, I'm having a hard time believing that I'm saying this, but it is helpful, I think, to have these meetings in person, and I'm wondering if the board wants to consider having the next one in person.
So I happen to know that on the 21st, the ZBA is holding a public hearing in this room
Okay.
for
Okay.
Washington and Swanton.
Right.
So we
Okay.
couldn't be in this room
Okay,
if we
all
were.
right. All right
But,
then.
but we can certainly,
And I don't know what the
We can-
appetite is for
Zoom our
that.
meeting.
we can talk about that offline, because scheduling we can do by email, and that's not an issue that sub open meetings. So.
There's the couple of rooms downstairs.
Yeah, we could be in a room downstairs. We can, but that's something.
Whatever you want to do.
That's not a lot of room.
I'm not going to be here, so I'll be I'll be one less person.
So we are still in public hearing, and we're going to move on to the next order of business
We're in
in our
sync
public
with Concom,
hearing,
so we can't take
which is for special permit PB 25-6, and
Out in the hall.
which is for 10 Converse. We're still calling it 10 Converse because although the plan is to refer to it as 33 Mount Vernon Street, it still was submitted as 10 Converse Place, so they'll have to do that. So if you would like to come on up, and anybody else that you would like to, again, we know you, but again, for the record, state your name, and I guess we'll start out with any changes to what you have in the packet for us, because you have some new drawings and new things, so that would be helpful.
Yes, we actually have a thumb drive we can
Oh.
over to somebody.
That would be Ian. We should have, unless there's something new, we should have everything you sent us.
We
Unless-
sent something later this afternoon.
You did.
It's just 3 additional slides.
It might, it
yeah,
could be in there, but
Thank you.
we can see if it's in there, and if it's not,
It's,
oh, yeah, give him a copy in there.
it's toward the rear.
Thank you for having us again.
Thank you.
I'm Paul Onyebane from Urban Spaces.
Good, okay, great.
David Duncan from Hassoun Architects.
Thank you.
Tonight, thank you. We would love to go through some of the slides that we've created to address concerns that were raised at the last meeting and also at the Design Review Committee regarding specifically the roof line, the height of the building, and how to sort of live with a 6-story building that also makes it feel as small as possible. So we've explored graphically some I think some great architectural ideas that hopefully you'll be pleased with tonight. So if it's worthwhile to roll very quickly through the
Absolutely.
slides for context, okay.
I think it's very helpful for, especially we have a large audience tonight, so.
Perfect. So for those who haven't seen this before, to refresh the memories of those who have, we were charged with trying to make the building footprint much smaller. Previously, the building that we sort of inherited was very large and, in fact, required off-site environmental mitigation that if we shrunk the building down enough, we could sort of live within our means, have a much smaller building, and this is the result of that effort. Bottom line is 33 feet of footprint horizontally removed from the building, about a third of the building. The next slide shows that in elevation. You can see how that left side of the building has kind of been lopped off, and the new building is in the black outline, which on the next slide after that is sort of highlighted, so new and old. Here's another graphic which sort of demonstrates the same idea, and another one that really, I think, highlights the move of reducing the footprint so much really opened up, which was the goal, of course, of conservation and others, to have better views of the waterfront. Here in aerial view, we see sort of what that open space now can become, a lot of green space instead of a lot of building. In particular, we're going to be working on incorporating comments that we've heard from the planning board as well as from other constituents, to ensure that we have the south-facing side of the building be as open and interactive as we can with the green space and the waterfront adjacent to it. The next slide is just kind of the landscape architect's first cut at looking at some plantings we can refine over time. And then we move into the floor plans. The objective was sort of given to us to ensure that we have no parking on the first floor. And so we put all the parking underground. And then, of course, have a very sort of active first floor, which includes retail at the front of the building, the Mount Vernon side, thus our goal to rename it 33 Mount Vernon, out with the old, in with the new. And also on the south side, as we talked about, that same commercial space. And then, of course, the various elements that support the building, like the lobby and mechanical rooms and the ramp. And then the right side, we kept that important active space to ensure that there's residential on the first floor. Then we just kind of roll through some schematics right now for floor plans. We had the pleasure of meeting with John, the head of the Housing Partnership this evening, and we talked about how right now these are just volumes, but once we advance our approval process, we'll start to fine-tune these, partition them off, figure out exactly how many units and of what type, 1, 2, 3-bedroom units, etc. But for now, they're just blue boxes to demonstrate the volume. And then we have the elevations. And I think maybe, David, you could take it from here, where we're going to explore the ideas that we've had to reposition the roof line to something more interesting and hopefully more aesthetically pleasing to the team.
So we've introduced this slide, which previously had been rendered, and at the end, just to look at all of the elevations together. So this is without materials, but just to start introducing the changes since last time, mostly on the east elevation, north and south, looking at increasing setbacks, modifying the top 2 floors, you'll see in the 3D views, but maintaining a very strong base with textured brick up to the sill line of the second floor, which corresponds with the height of other first floor bases along Mount Vernon Street. The middle of the building in brick up to the 4th floor, top of the 4th floor, and then these setback floors that start to set back significantly on the north and south, and more incrementally on the east and west sides, and really drawing from our work over the years on this and what we've understand about the design guidelines, trying to meet the intent of creating an active active top of the building to celebrate how the building meets the sky with these more broken down volumes that are like dormers that begin to step up. And while not creating a mansard roof with these steps, sort of giving the impression of a sort of receding building volume as we go to the top floor.
Forgive me for interrupting. Are any of these changes, not that I want to stop you, are any of these changes from what we saw 2 weeks ago?
Yes.
Okay.
And
when
it's
you get
easier
to
to
something
explain.
Specifically changed, tell us.
Easier to explain in the 3D views.
So I just interrupted you right before you were about to do it. Sorry.
So view from Mount Vernon Street. You'll see also towards the end of this, we're gonna walk through what you saw on the 16th and then what's been changed, and I can point out the differences. But and then there's some additional views at the end that you had requested and Design Review Committee had requested. In particular, from this view, we were asked to look at that upper volume that was sort of blank where the elevator and egress stair is on the 6th floor and figure out how to blend that in more. We were asked to introduce some windows there and look at how we treat transition to the volume of the elevator head house. And so this is what we presented to the Design Review Committee. You haven't seen this yet, but we got some feedback about maybe we went too far with this, that it's the rhythm of these very fine lines, the dark color of the metal of this higher volume, and this window, which is basically a fake window into the elevator shafts could be treated in a different way that's downplays the whole thing a little bit and makes it disappear into that upper volume more. So you'll see some options.
So that was proposed. What did you take away or do? That
So
was,
there is the existing, or what we presented on 916. What we were trying to do was sort of activate that sixth floor volume by putting a new window into the stair that's there, a fake window into the elevator head house, and try to treat that a little differently, more intentionally, kind of celebrating the fact that it's a little bit taller there, but rather than a little add-on volume, it is more integrated into the building.
Okay, great.
But later, you'll see, I want to make sure this is the right. Is this the?
We gave you the thumb drive, but I'm not sure this is actually showing.
Okay. So we might have to pull up the other, there's one slide that's been inserted at that point.
Is it in here?
It is in the.
Why don't we go ahead with that while he works on that, and we can, and obviously if people in the audience can't quite see it, but we can see it to not.
We'll pull it up.
To not take everybody else's time.
So, slide 15 is what I showed you. Slide 16 is something Taylor had requested.
Excuse me, David.
Yes.
You said that in slide 15.
Yep.
Did you get a little pushback from DRC about the texture that you've added there? Is that what you said?
There was a question about looking at this in other ways because of the texture, the darkness of the metal, that it was almost drawing too much attention to itself.
So
Not see it.
So 14 is the one that
You saw last time.
that we didn't, or that it was.
But I like the addition of the windows, and I tend to agree with the DRC about the texture.
Yep. So slide 16 is something Taylor asked us to look at, which is taking the adjacent building, the insurance company building, and bringing that up to the equivalent of our third floor to see what a future development, there it is. Yep. What future development on that site could look like at building out the full site at 3.0 FAR. So that's a 3-story structure which is slightly above our sill line of the 4th floor, but corresponds to the height of the white block. Just to understand what our 4 floors of brick and the 2 setback metal volumes looks like relative to a potential future development there.
So that's an accurate, from your perspective, that's an accurate comparable elevation, so that the top of that 2nd floor on adjacent to the white building is equivalent to the middle of your 3rd floor.
That's right. It's probably slightly lower. Our building is set back a few feet,
right.
So it's reading like it's the middle, but it's probably closer to that horizontal volume of our 3rd floor. We can look at that in the elevations and see where that lands. But this is just to attempt to say, in the future, there may be a taller building there. What does that do to the reading of this, our building, which is taller than the other buildings on Mount Vernon Street? And then this was with the feedback from the Design Review Committee, looking at a few different options, ways to maybe downplay that volume. So the first one, similar to the prior scheme, incorporates this higher volume at the stair and elevator, brings it down, but it's a lighter color that matches the lighter metal of the 5th floor. The second one gets rid of that second window as well, but wraps the 6th floor cladding around and makes a little impression where that window might be, repeating the pattern of windows, but it's just a recessed panel. And the third one does something a little different, which is it's just putting a little accent window there, similar to, the little accent window above or vent brick opening above the clock on the tower, or some of the little panel that says white block. It's cut off of here, but on the adjacent building to the right, to say we're doing some little compositional move here that brings some attention to that height, but it's not a window. It's just a little compositional move to see how that looks. So there's a range of ways this could go. And the idea here is, does any of the, we could talk about if any of these jump out as a possible solution, or if this needs some more development. This was what we presented on the 16th. The only real change here is that we're showing some more planting going down Mount Vernon Street. So worked with the landscape architect to say what can we do that creates a little bit of height along these piers along Converse. You'll see this in other views. It's a rather narrow planting strip there, so it can't be full trees. There's limited light there, so this is...
No flowering Paris, by the way. Just want to make sure.
A question to that point, please.
Yep.
Excuse me for interrupting, but I'm pleased to see that. That is a town property, and of course, and there is one tree there already. I'm not sure what kind of shape it's in, but it's approximately that size.
Okay.
I don't know.
So we're actually, the town property here is the line of the second curb. So the 4-foot strip between the edge of the sidewalk and the building
Yes.
is actually on our property. So
Okay.
we'd have to look at where that, if it's a sidewalk tree, where that falls.
This town would be happy to let you
Okay.
plant trees there.
Might even require it.
So this is the view we showed you on the 16th. This is the change, slightly adjusted camera view, but also that's a little less wide angle. But it then shows the development of that volume on the 6th floor. The 5th floor has been set back a little bit. 6th floor has been set back a little bit, but is a little bit higher where we've pulled that volume up. The idea is that the chamfering or the angling of the brick is carried up to the 5th floor and then to the 6th floor. But everything else there is the same, pretty much. I think a little bit of change on the entry canopy was starting to introduce some joint lines in advance of detailing that metal panel. Then the view looking back towards the center of town, there was feedback about the blockiness and the double height reading of these tall dormers. We had introduced setbacks at the north and south side. So we looked at modifying this in a few different ways and landed on basically taking the 2-story dormers, which were pulled out to the edge of the building, and splitting them. So rather than 5 of them at the top, there's 4 of them, and they're pushed back from the 5 that are now at the front, but a floor lower. So there's a kind of stepping and staggering that happens. And this is where, we're of course not literally creating a mansard roof here, but if you squint at this building, the idea is that this 2-story volume, metal volume, steps back from the brick volume and steps back again, and that gives you that sense of narrowing up the height as it's reaching to the sky, and pushing these 2-story staggered pieces back allows us to now create usable terraces at both the 5th floor and at the 6th floor units, along with terraces at the north and south side of those floors.
Was a mansard slope more difficult?
We studied it, and it was not doing us any favors in terms of, how to deal with those slopes in between these volumes. And also the fact that we're sort of losing some square footage, or starting where they are, sloping forward and losing terrace space for what is really only seeing a little bit of an angle. But we looked at it. I mean, that's something we could always send to you and share to see why we landed on this. But this was a close-up view from the 16th. And then here, you can see how these have basically shifted back, and how we went from terraces, very shallow terraces at the 5th floor, much deeper terraces at the 6th floor, to kind of evening those out so they're both 6-foot deep terraces at each floor. The intent with the darker metal is a bit like reading that upper regular volume as sort of the roof piece, with the dormers being the thing that's carrying up the cladding from below, like dormers would be on the mansard.
Do you have, interrupt you, sorry.
Yep.
Brick, metal samples that?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. I mean, we're presuming.
I just didn't
Yep.
know, because I'm having, I mean, it's supposed to look like copper,
Yep.
but it's not copper.
Nope.
So trying to understand, does it actually look like copper?
Yep.
Or does it look like,
Painted aluminum.
painted aluminum?
It's gonna, yeah. I mean, the
So, I mean,
idea is
that'll be the trick. That's the,
Sure,
to
sure.
make it look real and not be real.
Yep.
Is a really hard thing.
Yep.
And because there's the uncanny valley of it looking not quite right, and,
Yep.
and you draw your eye to it as opposed to like not noticing it.
Yeah.
One of the things that came up with the design review committee was that with their approval, they asked to come along with a review of materiality. So we're committed to that, and we'd like to, over time, share with them and you, as needed, the samplings that we'll have.
Okay.
We'll get it right.
Okay, yeah, I have no doubt you will, but getting it wrong would be really bad.
Yes. Yeah. Oops. So, view looking down Converse Place towards Mount Vernon, and the only change here is really, this is an architect's attempt at trying to insert the landscape.
But it took until spring to
architect's
approve.
design.
Everything flowered.
But on this side, the step back is as it was before.
Yes, it's shallower.
Fifth and sixth floor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So, yep. But again, keeping the angled bays with some large casements that would open up with railings there that allow not a step-out balcony, but allow someone to stand and look towards the pond. And then the view from Main Street, the big change here is really the fifth and sixth floor. And as they switch back and forth, you can see how the setbacks have been increased. So it looks like those are coming down on the skyline a bit. And then similar to what we did on the Mount Vernon view, we've added this view to say, if this were ever a 3.5-story building, this volume we pulled out of the zoning guidelines was Dennis Carlone's diagram of, I think, a 3.5-story building with a sloped roof up into that or a fourth floor up into that sloped roof. And that little cutout on the bottom is just a monochromatic. It's similar to what we did in 2022 instead of a physical site model, but it shows what that volume is at that corner. If that block were ever built out to a roughly 3.0 FAR, we think that's what we're looking at. So again, just to understand if there's future development at China Star, the CVS building,
Just for the board's benefit, that building could never be a 3.0 FAR because it's not in the PUD. The maximum it could be with a special permit would be a
2.5.
2.5 FAR, yeah.
Okay.
The point's still taken, but I just wanted to point that out. It can't be a 3 FAR.
Yep.
You have the luxury of potentially being 3.0 FAR.
Right.
They do not.
Okay, got it. Now, these were some other views that you had asked us to look at, and this is not with the options for the elevator, but this is pulled back by the rotary showing the height of the Brown and Stanton building with the volume of the roof to put the height of our 4-story brick in context. It's roughly the same height as the peak of the roof at the Brown and Stanton building, and you can see the setbacks. This is another view right in front of Converse Place, so you're sort of getting the sharp view looking down Converse with the overlapping balconies, and you really understand the folding of the brick facade and can see how that brick base wraps around the full building and that you're seeing to the pond around both sides of the building. So this and the folding of the building and the opening up of views to the left side was the thing that the Conservation Commission had given a lot of feedback on. And this is just another view from across the street, looking at a more flattened out view of that angled facade with the steps up and the white block down the street.
Can we just compare the sidewalk widths to what's existing there? So the width from the building as drawn here to the sidewalk is what it will be currently, and then it will get wider as soon as you do that angle,
No,
is that right?
we're actually back 2 feet, I believe.
So it's
from
2
the
feet
existing-
wider at
yes.
the point of the building, and then even wider as we go, oh, that's nice, okay. And then on the sidewalk on Converse Street, that will be the current sidewalk width?
I
quite
believe
narrow.
that's right, yeah, it's about 4 feet.
Okay, yeah,
is
it's
what's
narrow.
To the, we're going right to the property line, and then have the planting strip an additional 4-foot setback.
This second slide may help demonstrate that too. You can see the red line versus the black line
Great,
and how it's pulled in, right?
Right.
okay, great, thanks.
So the facade of our building is back basically 2 feet from the insurance building.
Okay, great.
So those are the slides we have.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Can I just make a couple?
Yeah, I was going to say,
Just really
questions,
quick
comments? No, that's not quick. Take your time.
I think you moved the, I like the soldier course at the top. I think it was in the middle before or something. I don't know. It may have always been at the top.
It's at the top.
It was always
Yep.
there. Okay. Anyway,
Yep.
I like the string course below the first set of windows. I'm having trouble placing the texture on the first floor, and I'm wondering if in your wheelhouse you have a bunch of different textures. I'm having trouble seeing what it's a nod to, or if it has any provenance in any way, or if there are other textures that you have in your wheelhouse that.
There are, certainly, I think.
Just to kind of bring that up in advance,
Yeah.
way in
Yep.
advance.
Yep. I mean, I think that,
Yeah.
so the concept for this portion of the building, and this came out of talking, in 2022 with the various design consultants we worked with, and with the planning board, is that we have some kind of texture here, and it's giving a nod to some of the textured bases of the bank building, parts of town hall, which are more rusticated, in some cases more rusticated.
I mean, I can see it's
stone.
textured, but I don't know where. I don't know. It doesn't
Relate
It doesn't
directly.
relate anywhere to anything in the past or to any of my catalog of.
Catalog of textures. So what we're showing there is basically every other course
Right.
is pulled out an inch and creating a shadow. It's similar to the kind of striping that is used on the stacked soldiers at the top. And some of that kind of texture occurs
wonder if you
on
had,
the white block, but a different scale. But there's
just a few lines pulled out and a lot of flat space in between them. I wonder if that would be more of a. I don't know. I just figure if you have a wheelhouse or a catalog of various textures, you can kind of think about it.
It's this one isn't as easy as just applying a texture, but it's certainly something we could study.
Maybe a thicker flat and then maybe 2 or 3 pulled out.
Okay.
Reminds me a little more of what, maybe some conceptual designs that you see in older urban areas.
Yep. So it would basically be.
So you'd have
making it
a
bigger
bunch of
scale.
string courses, perhaps.
Yep.
With a flat.
Yep.
As a possibility, or.
Yep.
I think take a look at the old sections of downtown Boston, perhaps, or anywhere that might have some bricks that are the same level of easiness to do, but it might have a.
Yeah, I think that's certainly something we could look at
history
really
somewhere,
easily and see how it transforms the scale of that base. Sure.
Go ahead.
I was wondering about the cell phone antennas, and what the arrangement is with the carriers, and are they going to be part of this new building?
Yes.
Well done, John. Page 12.
Wait, what was the question?
Cell phone towers?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Okay,
there's a
cell
note
phone
on
towers,
page
yeah.
12. You wrote that the
Bring your
telecoms will be
microphone a little
relocated, but
Yes. So the good news is it will guaranteed look better than it does today.
Dish TV days are.
Right, that's a very good question.
Well,
We're
it's
going
been
to
25 years, so
yeah.
should look.
No, we're basically. It's actually been unbelievably challenging to get in touch with the tenants. There's 3 tenants up there, and we're working through that. We have made contact with one and or 2, maybe, and trying to make contact with the other. But the idea is that we're going to essentially relocate the existing equipment temporarily, and then, reposition it back in a place that it has to be mutually determined with the tenants. They need line of sight and things to make them work, but in a way that's as screened as we can. We have some ideas that we think could work, like putting them sort of behind the elevator shaft, the more toward the center, the less likely you see them. Right now, they're all on the perimeter, right? But right now, we just don't know exactly what their requirements are. And obviously, the technology has changed, to your point, so much that it's going to be a whole different look, I'm sure. But it'll be as hidden and screened as we can. We can keep you posted as soon as we make contact with them.
Oh, just take a couple of the antennas, throw them in the dumpster. They'll make contact
sure they
with you.
will.
They'll
Yes.
find you.
They'll suddenly call.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
We'll hear from them soon, I'm sure.
So the tenants that you referred to are the people that are renting use of the roof for the cell towers? That's
T-Mobile, XM.
Okay, fine. Okay.
AT&T.
Okay.
Verizon.
So we kind of don't know what they're going to look like on the building yet.
We don't know yet, but we will keep you apprised as soon as we hear. We will be going at some point to the ZBA to talk about the relocation needs to be approved by them as well, so that the discussion will continue for sure.
Questions about anything? I'm going to open up for public comment as well, but if there's questions about anything, then we come back and discuss afterwards. But any opening salvo of questions?
I mean, the massing has gotten so much better. I think your careful eye on architectural detail. It's a nice looking building. It's, just to diffuse some of what's about to come at you. It's really, really tall. We're all aware of that. We are we're kind of granted permission to approve this kind of height because it's a PUD, but it feels a bit irresponsible to approve a building in a PUD without knowing what we're adding for housing inventory. And so we see 35 units and we see no detail on that. And we don't know, you have to meet the requirements for affordable housing, but we don't know. There's just a lot we don't know about the interior of the building, and usually we have some layouts. And so, the town is not going to love this much massing in the middle of downtown and not having sort of a clear deliverable sort of respond, to that concern. Leaves us in an awkward spot for approving something that we may end up realizing was precedent setting and was kind of a poor trade-off for the town's needs.
Right. I just like to add my question that is your question. Inclusionary housing. How many units are there, and how many are affordable? And is it 10%?
Right.
Yes, I can answer those questions. Basically, we can give you the range. It's plus or minus right now. I think we're at between 32 and 37 units. So it's a tight range right now. The challenge for us has been moving from just having the volume, which is to this point still undetermined, to actually discussing where the partition lines are going to go, exactly how many units, how big they are. That's a very involved effort, right? And so that could be, we were talking to John from the Housing Partnership, that could take 3 months for us to do. Given that the project was sort of denied, right, at one point, and then kind of risen from the ashes and we're here today, we haven't been able to advance the drawings to the point where maybe a more customary project would be, you'd see those. I mean, obviously we do this all the time as well, and it is true that normally you have these a little more developed. But the extenuating circumstances here have made it so we could really only give you this range. I wish we could say it's 34 and the affordable housing would be percentage accordingly. But what we can say is that at 32 to 37 units, the bylaw requires, as John was noting today, we weren't aware of exactly how you calculated it here in Winchester. John noted, and we just want to confirm, but if it's 15%, then obviously at 32 units, that's rounded up to 5 affordable housing units. At 37, I think that's going to round up to 6. So it's in that order of magnitude. If we do, let me just make sure I did that right. Yes. It's 5 or 6, if John's math is correct, and it probably is. Probably no one knows better than him about it. But that's the trade-off. So we're delivering 32 to 37 units, and 5 or 6 of them would be affordable. And I hope that helps. What we would like to propose is, because of the process is a little unorthodox, we obviously, if you were to move forward and in your decision to approve the building, we'd like to ask if it could be in the context of having a sort of a contingency that says you can't move forward until it's resolved with Housing Partnership. Another, of course, which we could talk about later, but you can't move forward until it's resolved with Conservation Commission. So if we could approve with limitations or clawbacks, that would be really helpful, because what we're trying to do is get some feedback that we're on the right track, we're moving forward, we can continue to spend time and money because we know there's a project out there for us.
So I want to piggyback on something you said, because you stole what I was going to say almost word for word. So one of the things we're going to have to do when we walk down the street, somebody's going to have to say, why did you approve that building? And we're going to be able to say the following. You can build 40 feet by right. You can build 48 feet by special permit. And because you're in the PUD, you can build, there's not a limit on the height. However, we have to be able to say that the development, quote, references and clearly meets the goals and objectives of the CBD by offering more diverse housing opportunities which address the population needs of the Winchester community. So we have to actually sit in this table and we have to vote and say they do that. And if we don't say that, we can't give you more than 48 feet of height on this building. So I don't know that I need an answer. I don't even know what the question is, but what are we going to consider to be more diverse housing opportunities such that we then say, yes, they can get 69 feet, whereas without that, it would only be 48 feet. It's more of an open-ended statement that sort of piggybacked, I think, on what you were saying. We have and the FAR follows pretty similarly. You can do 1.5 by right, 2.5 by a special permit, and you can get up to 3. Again, if you do that same, it's the exact same wording, clearly meets the goals of the and objectives of the CBD by offering more diverse housing opportunities. So I just want us to all be thinking about,
That was one of the points that I had as well.
Yeah.
I thought you looked at my notes. When you said that,
To the point of more diverse housing opportunities, I think we're talking beyond just affordable, right? We're talking about, for instance, those 4 work-live units on the ground floor. I think that's another kind of diverse space.
And the missing middle, right.
I'm sorry?
And the missing middle, right. So work, live, and then also.
But
Exactly.
I guess my statement will be, out of that question is, it'll be really hard for us to opine on that without, maybe I don't need to know the exact shape and size of the units, but I probably need to know the distribution of some amount. I mean, again, because we have to vote that. And I don't know how we vote that without knowing, it's 32 to 37 units. It's something that I think you guys need to maybe sharpen your pencils, even if you don't have everything exactly right, and come back and say, based on this, based on the plans, that would then require this many affordable units, and so that we can have something to deliberate on, whether that's offering more diverse housing opportunities.
I mean, alternately, we can create a wish list.
We can do that too. They probably would rather not.
Kind of how we got
They'd probably
here.
they'd rather have it the other way around, come with what they like. But yes, we could do it the other way. We could give you a wish list.
You'd probably like to know what we're thinking, right?
Yes, it's fair enough. So maybe what we could do is, if you're okay with a tight range, we can develop a narrative that says, more to it. We could say, we're thinking about, which we, like you said, it is diverse in the sense that it's different than what's offered. We're going to be offering larger sized units for families that are downsizing that want to stay in Winchester. There's not many opportunities for that here. So that's a diversity of offering. We are going to have those first floor units with courtyard entrances. This live-work concept has gotten a little morphed over time. We don't really think these are artist studios anymore, but to the extent that they're units that activate the waterfront, maybe that's a better way of saying it, they'll do that. And that's different. You don't have a lot of these walk-up style units in downtown, so that's different. We have units that have outdoor space to interface with the beautiful green space and the waterfront. Different again. And of course, you have your more traditional way of thinking about it. Affordable housing is different than expensive housing, which is dominating a lot of the environment. But we could put a point on that and maybe make a better narrative so you have something to really look at next.
That would be helpful.
Okay.
So why are they not live work or?
That was a concept that was interesting, I think, to the last developer, and as we looked at it, we said, most people are going, we think, for the demographic for this, are going to want to age in place, and those units were 2 levels. They had staircases inside.
Oh,
them,
I see. Okay.
and that was making it kind of complex.
Yeah.
Now, that's not to say that, this is being a little cheeky, but working from home is live work too.
Right.
But we are going to have these spaces designed so people can hopefully have a nice space to work.
I mean, would they be advertised as a great place for an artist to live work?
I'm not so sure. Art. I mean, when I think of artists, I think of like starving artists and loft spaces, and now maybe there's some very successful artists that can afford Winchester, or maybe they can get one of the affordable units, and we can configure it as such. But really, I think that's a concept that I'm not really kind of sure.
These are the ground floor units that are right.
Yes.
I think there's a definition for it. It's like 40% of the space is committed to occupational. Right? We dove into this. Taylor then had a young child and lost a lot of sleep. It's somewhere, it's defined somewhere, but it's a certain percent of the living space is committed to occupational
Bedroom,
engagement.
is that correct? So they'd be like a studio apartment?
We have never done these before, live work, and we ideally never would, because they just don't. They're not going to be successful in the kind of downtown infill locations that we operate in. So I'm not quite sure. I assume they have bedrooms if they're live work, and maybe they have that definition, like Carrie said, 40% perhaps, or whatever
I don't remember
it
the
is.
percent, but yeah.
But these would be more positioned as more traditional units. We've gotten away from the 2-story duplex down to just regular units where people can either access floor through or from the elevators in the building.
Are you guys okay if we move to public comment?
I'm good.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you very much. I'm not meaning to kick you out. It's getting
Thank
late,
you.
and but stay nearby.
We appreciate it. Thanks again.
Thank you.
If we're doing public comment, I would like to see those visuals that
So-
I asked
so I'll-
about.
So let's start with public comment, and then you can ask for. Then we'll come back, and you can ask for anything from the packet to be shown.
No, but I think the visuals relate to one of the letters that came in.
Absolutely. All I'm saying is I'd like to first do the people who are present,
Okay.
and then we can put anything up on the board as soon as they're done. I mean, if
Or in conjunction with their.
if somebody comes up who has,
We also have elevation maps from the applicant that I think have
yeah,
the lot, just to make sure the
I just
numbers are right.
if that individual's here, they're welcome to ask to put that up, and I will. Otherwise, after we get public comment, you can ask to.
But if someone raises a height question, we also have the
Yes, but
applicant
we haven't
submitted
vetted,
elevation
we haven't vetted
map.
any of
Right.
those either. So
I also have like kind of I think it relates to one of the letters. For Taylor, the CBD regulations, do they require that they must provide a project model?
So there is, the board can, it's
Or a 120 scale presentation for review purposes?
yeah, so my understanding of it is it's not a requirement of it could be a physical or a digital model. That's my interpretation of it. It is something that the board could request if they would like.
but it would be of the structure.
It'd be of the structure, yeah.
Okay. So
Okay, it's public comment, so you can come up and correct
I
me.
would welcome anyone from public who would like to give public comment. Just raise your hand. come on up, and, well, come on up. I have no intention of cutting anybody off, but when you hear this thing go, it'll mean try to wrap it up, but 3 minutes, and
Thank you.
state your name, obviously, but we know you. But.
Okay, cool. So,
Do we need
my
to
name-
see that your visuals? Do we need to
Yeah,
see the?
I actually mind for
Can we
you.
put them up?
Okay, because you're here, I'd be delighted. I just
you.
didn't want them for somebody else. For you, I'll pause this. For you,
Yeah.
that's great.
So in addition to worrying about the height and what we get back in terms of affordable housing, the Winchester CBD zoning regulations also talk about scale and character. And I sent a letter of public comment this morning to everyone, and I don't know if you've had a chance to see it.
We did.
But my reading, I'm not a lawyer, but my reading is the development team must provide an accurate model at 1 to 20 scale for presentation and design purposes, including adjacent built or planned buildings with sufficient detail to portray architectural character, height, mass, and bulk of the proposed development and environs. The purposes of this physical model and related computer analysis are, and this is important, to ensure the harmony of the individual project within the town design context. And as an architect and someone who's lived here for decades, and like many, many people, I'm taken with the character of the town center. Many people are. I'm concerned about the size of this project, specifically the height. And first of all, I'm sort of asking that before there's any vote or final evaluation that a model is provided. And I know that the proposed building is 7 feet higher than the existing Mill Pond building, which will put it at the height of the Park View on Swanton Street. I know it extends from about the existing right edge of the Mill Pond building over to Mount Vernon Street. And I'm very concerned about not only the architecture of the top 2 floors, but also what it does to the view corridors and the character of Winchester Center. So the pink is without a model and without dimensions on the drawings I have. This is my estimate of what we would lose at the Congregational Church looking over the town. And I think everyone loves the town hall and the red brick, and I'm pretty happy with the red brick portion of the new building, but the top 2 floors is too high and not well done, and this is what it would block. And then if we go to the next, there are glimpses of like town hall, especially in the winter, of other buildings in the center, even in spite of the fact the train tracks have been elevated, also on Waterfield and Church Street. And this is just an example of standing near the fountain in the common. You can see the Mill Pond building, extending it over, no longer see Town Hall. And I know, based on the architecture...
Do you need another few moments?
2 more?
2 minutes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
The architecture of this side, on the 5th floor, we will be seeing a metal screen which has behind it residential air, like heat exchanger elements, so mechanical. And then above that, there's a single loaded corridor with the 6th floor units looking over the pond. That's a corridor with windows. Typically in condo buildings, those lights are on all the time and you see exit signs. Like, it's not a pleasant residential lights on and off experience. So that's what we'll be seeing, green metal and a corridor. And then the next slide, or whoever's doing it. Thank you. Yeah, and this is just showing how, like coming down Mount Vernon Street, it's a big building. And a lot of the, that's all I'm going to say. So one more, I'm running out of time. And this is looking at in the library lawn. And you can see how the purple is bigger than the proposed building that was 5 stories from a couple years ago, and it blocks the views of like the church steeple, which at night is beautiful. So I'm very concerned about the height and the architecture of the top, but mostly the height. And this illustrates it, and my letter is pointed about that.
Thank you very much. You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Good letter, thank you.
Thank you.
Are there additional, come on up. State your name and address. And again, I'm not going to cut you off, but when you hear a ding, that means you got 3 minutes, and you have to let me know.
Thank you very much. Thank you. My name is D.M. O'Connell. I live at 10 Bacon Street in Winchester. As you know, I've been following this project for quite some time. I'd like first to start off with, which is important too, to acknowledge the work that has recently been done in the project, and that there have been some improvements here. And I welcome the improvement. To a certain extent, it's a smaller building. And certain things have changed. The building footprint has gotten smaller on the site. The name has changed with respect to the project. But what hasn't changed is the size and height of this building. If you go back to previous iterations of prior developers, this building was at 60 feet, then it went up to 64 feet, then it went up to, it will no longer be, it won't be taller than the laundry building. Now we're here with 69 feet, and with the overhead from the mechanical space, it's probably 73, 74, 75 feet. So I'm very concerned that the building is very, very tall. Of particular interest is because the project is on the pond, Winchester is in a valley. It's not what you're seeing from the streets with all these various views on Mount Vernon or Converse Place. It's what you see around it from elevated positions around the town, up, for example, at the library, up at the school. And that's where you're going to see this project. That's where you're going to see the size and mass of this project. I would like to take you on a little visual tour, if you could. I want you to imagine you're coming from town. You're driving down South Border Road. Then you come to the junction, head down the hill to Mount Vernon Street. Get to the library, our iconic library, the trademark of our town. And all of a sudden, on the left-hand side, and I'd like if you could put up the slide that shows that east elevation. Not that. The east elevation. Yes, that one will start, for example. The east elevation on top. That mass of a building, 69 foot tall, is 200 foot long. 200 foot long. It is a Great Wall of China. Believe me, I've been in the business long enough. You can develop all these images and perspectives to see oblique images of views from the street. When you come down past the town hall and see that.
Do you need additional time?
Please. It will obliterate the town hall. It will obliterate the downtown. Think for a minute, coming down, let's say this evening, and you come down the hill, there are approximately 80 windows, and some of them are large patio-type windows, all lit up. All those windows reflected in the pond to double up. It is going to be a scintillating affair. 200 feet long. I'm scared to even think about it. It is totally going to transform this town forever. What I did see from some of the images that the architect has done a fine job in certain regards, you know what it screams out to me when you see the 4 stories of brick and you say, you know, that sort of all fits in, that's nicely detailed, I like that. But when you get to the smorgasbord of the top, oh my God, what are we doing here? This is where if somebody is going for extra height, we want to sort of make it serene and pacify it and quiet. And here we have this celebration of a ziggurat on top of this building. It's just it's just not right. And, you know, it upsets me. And I would like to reiterate what the previous speaker said in terms of, as I said, you could, I won't say manipulate images, but you can use images in the profession to favorably dispose something towards what you're trying to sell. A model, a real model, that you can see and feel and touch, that you are allowed to ask the developer to provide or mandated to be determined, that will tell you the secret here. And I'm just encouraging you, please, please, if it's the only one thing I say tonight, please get a model of this thing and then see what is it that's proposed for this town. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Come on up. I'm going to take one more public comment. I see one hand raised, and then come on up. I only see one. And then we'll, unless there are people dying still to speak, we'll try to continue on.
So, Maureen Meister, 3 Meadowcroft Road. I was on the planning board when we passed this. This is not what we contemplated at all. And I know the PUD certainly was the one place where there was some wiggle room, but we also had some confidence that the board would also just look at it and say, well, we can do this much, but because we're getting something, as you said, get something back. But 69 feet, no way. It wasn't. I mean, look at the rest of the heights that are in the CBD and that are in this particular East Core. This is so far out of bounds that it just boggles the mind. Let me go, though, for something more general. As we were told, your project model is required. It's the development team must provide. It's not may or maybe it's up to you. You were supposed to do that. And this was something that we worked long and hard on. It's multiple pages, and it took many, many, many months. So, and we also hired people to do this. So, in the end, the question is, these are regulations. You're supposed to know, and if all of you can't, we do ask the planner to review all this so that you really are confident that you know what you're supposed to get. You haven't gotten it. And that does go back, by the way, to the prior applicant with the other project. This is law. And if the community can go forward knowing with confidence that what's in the zoning bylaw, what you've passed, there were design issues relating to that other project that you guys clearly aren't discussing. You should be looking at the law and assuring us as members of the community that you are here to uphold the laws of the town. And you do need help, I agree. I wouldn't say as you come in, you're lay people, you're elected, but we really do depend on you to look at what's in these laws and what you're supposed to be expecting from your applicant and where you can deny a project. Because you can. If you're not getting what you're supposed to get under your laws, the laws of the town of Winchester, you should be denying. At some point, it's over. You start over and you get a project that works. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Last public comment, and then I promise whoever has the crying baby will be the first order of business when we're done. That is my promise.
Thank you. I'm Lee Wooten, 7 Dix Terrace. It's really very straightforward. I'm reiterating what you just heard. The top 2 levels, the building's too tall. The top 2 levels of metal boxes, mechanical units, and cell phone antennas are going to loom over the town center. Coloring the metal as a sky tone and cherry picking the perspectives misrepresents the visual impact of the height of the building in a lot of the renderings that you're looking at. A model is required by the town regulations will provide a better understanding of the scale of the project's height relative to the rest of the center. As proposed, the project, because of its height, will be the most obnoxious structure in the center. Please don't allow it to proceed at its current proposed height. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anybody desperately? No. So I'm going to close public comment, and we can talk about how we want to proceed best.
Can I just make just an observation?
Of course.
Very, very brief.
Of course.
we're dealing with this height pressure, and we need to keep a sober view of this whole thing. We can't get too excited all at the beginning. We need to be looking at every aspect, and just the part of this height pressure is due to the fact that the bank hasn't lowered their price, and it's not our job as the planning board to bail out the bank. We need to look at this project in a sober way. Is the height the right height for Winchester? And we need to cross all the T's and dot the I's as we go.
I agree that it's not our job to factor in what the applicant needs to pay for the building to make it work. What we're trying to decide is, does it satisfy the bylaws that they can build this, and are we getting enough out of this building to what everybody's speaking to, authorize the additional height that's above what's allowed by right or by special permit. So I agree. I don't want to take into account what they're paying for it at all. It's not in my...
Right, but we don't...
I don't even know what it is. It's
Yeah,
It's not on my radar.
It's not that it's not relevant, it's that, as we questioned Paul last time, or I did, regarding the economics, and much as I think everybody on this board is troubled by the height, it's not economically feasible, as he said.
Well, but that's not our business.
I understand that, but
it's not our business to whether it's economically feasible. If a lower height
fine,
is...
he'll walk away, and we'll have nothing there.
Well, no, we'll
Except
walk
for
away,
the
the bank will
laundry
lower the
building.
price, we'll get a new design.
You think that? I mean, again, it's not our business to talk to the bank, but I can't help but think that the bank, it's better to have whatever the number is than none, because they're going to continue to sit on the property.
I just don't think we should have our back to the wall and say, okay,
I understand, but I don't think we can ignore the economics of it.
I don't feel like I have my back to the wall
in terms of the height,
in terms of having to approve the project,
in terms of having to approve the height.
Approve any part of it, any aspect of the project. I mean, I don't have the sense that if I don't approve whatever the 70 feet, that something bad's going to happen to the savings bank.
Well, that's good. I mean, that's I suppose that's a
they
good.
got themselves into this.
But I think we're being unrealistic if we ignore the economics of the situation. That's all I'm saying.
But we're doing a huge disservice to the town if we
no
decide
question.
the building
No
parameters
question.
based on the
I agree.
economics, and
I
that's the
agree.
tension.
I agree. I wish a representative of the bank had been sitting in all these meetings from the very beginning.
I mean, John, you're probably the best informed here. If we decline this project, does that feed back to the bank and sustain, what happens? Everyone wants to throw 40B at us, but to me, that's an affordable housing project, so that's sort of a step up from where we are.
I mean, they're going
It wouldn't look as good, though. It's a pretty building.
they're going to look for the most money they can get to.
They're not going to hire Hazen either.
Excuse me?
They're not going to hire
No,
Hazen to do the job.
no. I mean, they're going to do what they have to do to recover the money. I don't know, would they go shopping for someone who could do a 40B and make it work?
Is that feasible on this site with the entire site being in the wetlands and all of the sort of,
So
there's
if you take
not.
it that this is the footprint to work with, there is certainly a price at which, you can do it. It may not be the price they have negotiated now.
Because remember, that if this fails, we go back to the previously approved footprint, which is larger but requires offsite
We can't go back to the
mitigation.
previously approved footprint.
I'm asking Taylor for procedural, what, if this fails, where are we?
Well, so that's still, that permit needs to be extended.
Oh.
I'm sorry, what?
The original permit needs to be extended. It needs to be reviewed again. That permit expired.
Oh, it expired.
Yeah,
Okay, so we could either use that or something else.
We could extend it, but the economic feasibility of a footprint that requires offsite mitigation
There are a
and,
lot of reasons why that
lawsuits.
never got built.
It's unfeasible.
Right. So I'm saying, Jack's point is we're left with a laundry building. The point is we can't decide based on the economics, but like what does happen if we, I think the
I mean,
town
we're just
deserves to
getting
know
a lot
that.
We're getting a lot of feedback on the height.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with the feedback.
Yeah.
I'm troubled by it too. But I'm trying to be realistic.
Well, that's not, our task, again, is not the economics, although I think the town deserves to know. Our task is whether or not this creates such amazing unit development that we would really just blow up the height requirements for the CBD. I mean, is this filling sort of a deep enough need for the town that we feel pressured to be relatively egregious in height approval? I mean, that's the only decision we really like.
And the ziggurat roof.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to pull it back in. Taylor, since we got you here, what do you recommend as far as moving forward? It was never intended that we would have a vote tonight. The next steps is they are going to Concom on 14th. I'll attend that meeting so I can see how that proceeds. I guess that the best case scenario is we're continuing it to the 21st. I just want to know like we said to the previous applicants, I want to know what we're asking of the applicant.
Yes,
to bring
and just
back
in
to
case
us.
you say continued and Jack jumps on the motion before you say continued. I think the model ask is reasonable. I mean, whether it's a digital, I think that we've seen shadow studies, we've seen manipulative models where you can spin it around and say this is what it looks like. That's, sort of architecturally accurate, and we need some.
I'd like to see a model.
Is there a motion to that?
Do we need to move that, or is that
Move
just
to
like
request a model.
I mean, if it's in the bylaw, you don't need to do it.
Yeah, I don't think we need to.
I think
I think we just need to decide whether we're requesting that.
we've seen them. I don't know if it has to be.
Are we requesting that as, I mean...
Get the third grade like
Okay,
team.
Consensus. All I need is consensus
Yeah.
that we're requesting that. I wanted to make sure that
We
it wasn't
represent
just
the
you
town,
saying
the
you
town
wanted
wants
that.
Oh, no, I agree with it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're requesting that. Is there anything else that we're requesting of the applicant when they come on back on the 21st? So that we aren't, I just don't want them spinning their wheels. I'd like them to come back and have addressed something new, like...
Yeah, unit.
So we need some unit, we need that, the unit. We're requesting a model. We need some sort of digital or other, or physical. We are, what else are we asking of them? I just want to make sure.
What's the, just to refresh my memory about the FARs,
We can approve up to 3.0. What is it? Is that what you mean? Or what is that?
I mean, do we want to see 2.5?
It was 2.7, I believe, is what's being proposed. 2.75. 3.0 can be approved. They sort of go hand in hand with the height. If we say it's not eligible to go up to 3, at the same time, we have to say it's not eligible to go above 48 feet. So, and which we could say. I'm not saying we can't say that, but I don't think we could say you can't be 2.5 FAR, but you can be 59 feet, because those would be sort of in conflict with each other. It's my opinion. Okay, so we have 2 asks, and then we need the feedback from Concom. Is there any desire on this board to approve or vote a project without having an answer from Concom, at least some sort of direction from Concom? Do we want to be in the same boat we were in last time?
No, I agree with you.
No, we want to, no.
Can Concom make are they just deliberating? Can Concom make their final vote without an approved plan?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean,
We certainly need some
That's
information.
how we got in the pickle before. So
We need
had
some
an approved
information
plan
from
the
them.
planning board, and then we had to work around it. So I
If they're
don't know
not
if we go
willing,
backwards.
if they say this doesn't fly, that's valuable. If they say
Okay,
this
so
looks
their vote doesn't
good,
have to be
but we
final.
need to
Yeah.
dot our i's and cross our t's, we can come back.
Okay, great.
yeah, I mean, I don't think Concom ever signed off on it before. That was the problem.
They very much signed off on it, and it was rejected.
Signed off negatively.
Oh, no, yes, no, that's my point, right. They never said this looks good, move forward.
There was
Yeah,
a washing of the hands.
Right.
Okay. given the late hour, I think we have some requests. I think, I hope you have a path forward. Anything
Path
else?
forward, what do you mean?
As path forward as far as that there's some requests from this board. And
Applicants have a way forward.
you're going to go to Concom and hopefully get some guidance from them as far as whether this is a go. Like if they say no way, then we don't need to spend any time spinning our wheels. But if they say yes, then or likely, then we can have a path forward to continuing on. I think do we all agree with that?
Yep.
Sorry, it's late. I'm tired. Everybody in the room
Doing
is
great.
tired.
Yep, it's good. It's all good.
Okay, so I would like a motion to continue this hearing until the 21st.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Thank you very much. I
I hope I
appreciate
didn't
it.
shame you out of your speedy motion.
I know, they got it this time.
I am going to ask the permission from the board. We have now moved into a business section, and while the order is one thing, I would like to invite whichever petition has the small child to come forward. So that and if you tell us what that is, we're going to do it out of order because I don't like a small child having to be.
Also, for future petitioners, Taylor's baby could be made available. For
I feel
preferential
terribly how late
timing.
it's gone, but we have
Third one, too.
yeah.
To the head of the line.
We didn't even know about it. Okay.
So what address are you?
What's the address?
Washington Street.
Washington Street. So,
Oh, God, she's so gorgeous.
so this is
This
Z25-22.
baby. I
This
thought
is
you meant
a
Naomi.
ZBA petition.
I'm Naomi biased.
And I'm going to just let Ian pull up.
Washington Street. So,
Hold on, I'm going to let Ian pull up that. And Ian, if you could kick off and tell us roughly what we're looking at, and then we'll turn it over and get you guys to introduce yourself after Ian just sort of kicks off what we've got here. Okay. And then we'll go to introductions after Ian sort of kicks off what we're looking at. And thank you for your patience tonight. We're here too. It's a long night for everyone.
Why not?
He's asleep.
It's a long night for you because you have to think for all of them. We just have to
Talking in the
sit there.
background. It's so soothing.
so
We're going to let Ian just kick off. This is 23335 Washington Street. And
are there some easy pictures that we can see? Because it looks like
Yeah, there's a
not a whole lot of an addition here, so.
there's a nice exterior for the
yeah,
proposed.
there's a nice exterior that I think
Just see that nice
summarizes.
exterior view.
I think that's really what you're going to find some value in.
Yeah.
I mean, there's one that's going from 3 to 5, and I don't understand that one, but this one is going from
Can you
5 to 5 something.
Can you show us the exterior shot of?
Exterior shot. I think it's a.
It keeps us scrolling down.
Oh, it's on this side.
The side-by-side photos,
Yeah.
the elevation.
There was this,
What is it?
Yeah, keep going down.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
that one and the next one I think was that one right there. I think
Right.
is,
That's very
Yeah, that is the most informative.
okay.
Okay.
So
All
Ian, we're looking for a. This is just site plan review.
It's helpful.
It's special permit and site plan.
Special permit and site plan review, and the reason
nice.
for the special permit is.
The petitioners propose the construction of a vertical extension of an existing non-conforming 10.8 left side setback where 15 is required, a dormer that will exceed 50% of the roof plane, and construction that results in floor area greater than 3,600 square feet as applies to premises of 235 Washington Street.
Fantastic, thank you. Now, if you could introduce yourself.
I'm Michael Hull, the architect. These are the homeowners.
Hello, I'm Kayla.
And they should explain why they're proceeding with this. I think it's very important. I mean, maybe not.
I mean, just a quick question about the property. It's 5,000 now.
Is it a two-family?
The FAR?
No, 5,000 square feet currently.
It's in the memo.
I think it's a little
I
more
have to
than that.
look at
It says existing square feet, 5,000 square feet.
of the property.
It's a floor.
Square footage.
Square footage.
Of the property?
Of the house.
The whole house.
Oh, the house, I'll have to get it out.
It's in yellow.
It's in yellow. It says it's 5. I just want to confirm that it's 5,000
Yeah,
square feet.
I have it here. I just have to open it. I don't have all the stuff.
Well, okay. So it's a big house to begin with. I mean, is it two units put together?
Two-family.
So it's joint, or it's...
Yes,
Well, two addresses owned by the same home.
Okay, okay. And just out of curiosity,
Yeah, it's 235.
is there another family in the other unit?
So
or-
it's his family
Okay,
lives in one side.
Right.
And then we live on
Right.
that apartment.
oh, okay, all right. So it's 2,500 square feet per
It's
resident.
adding, it's adding about
Not really.
600 square
No.
feet.
No,
Yeah.
it's probably like.
It's probably like-
something,
All right,
24,000
that's neither here nor there.
It's
I-
1,500
yeah,
square
yeah,
feet
yeah.
approximately for the
Okay.
one we're proposing.
Okay.
So why don't you explain why you want to extend?
Would you give them the
largest
microphone,
unit?
please?
Yeah. Slide over a microphone.
Slide the microphone over.
Oh, sorry. Thank you.
So lifelong Winchester residents here, grew up in the town. We currently have lived in this apartment for about, 8 or 9 years now. His parents live next door. He has a handicapped brother of whom is wheelchair bound that we assist with. We obviously have a child now, so the space doesn't quite fit our needs. It's not feasible to stay there. That said, we want to make it work because we do help with his brother. And it's Winchester, so it's not that affordable. So this is probably the best way that we can stay in the town and stay close enough to help.
I mean, looking at this, I mean, you can get that whole story. And unless there's something hidden here, I don't see why we should spend more time before we approve.
I was good with it.
I think it looks great.
I know the building and.
I was at the Historical Commission meeting last night, so I looked closely at this, and they spent a lot of time on it, and it blends very nicely in with the condominium units next door.
You're doing half timbering on the...
Yeah, we're just gonna match.
Yeah, to match it.
Yeah, unfortunately, the chosen green couldn't be.
But, yeah,
The
coordinate with the
Commission was very
existing.
favorably disposed towards this
That's fine.
project.
That's fine.
Yeah,
It
it looks
great.
good.
I like it.
Okay, can I make a motion?
Please do. I think
I'd
it
like
looks
to move
phenomenal.
that we that we recommend favorable action on this project
Because
because
it has no unfavorable,
it
no,
does not have any
no negative impact on the neighborhood.
It's an asset to the. It creates additional. I don't know.
No
Value to the home, no negative
no
impact
adverse
on the
impacts
neighborhood.
Right. No adverse impacts on the neighborhood. Okay.
Is there a second on that?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Sorry you
Record
waited
set,
for 2
maybe.
hours for that.
Sorry
It looks
you
great.
waited so long.
Good luck.
Good night.
Good luck at the ZBA. With that, thank you guys. Everyone else, thank you for letting them go out of order. We will move to Z25-20, which is 18 Chester Street. Is someone here for 18 Chester? Come on up. Thank you. And take a seat. I'll let Ian pull up the write-up, give us an overview on that, and then I'll let you introduce yourself after.
Is there also a nice picture that we can look at on the?
Yeah, so there's the elevations presented by the architect.
So Ian, what are we looking at here?
Where is 18 Chester?
It's in between, it's over by Washington and Swanson Development. It's like halfway
okay.
between there and Morocco.
Okay. And what's there now?
So hold on. Let's let Ian kick us off, and then we'll let him introduce himself, and then you can ask any question you want. I promise.
The petitioner proposed an attached garage and mudroom, which results in a floor area greater than 3,600 square feet, requiring site plan review as it applies to 18 Chester Street.
Okay, perfect. So introduce yourself. Thank you. Sorry, we're late and we're tired too.
I understand, but I empathize with all of you. I'm Peter Mitchell. I'm the homeowner, and my wife Claudia Mitchell is here till 8 o'clock. She had to return home for our 2 kids. We are residents of Winchester. We moved here about 7 years ago from California. My wife and I met in Boston, and we fell in love with the area. But due to our jobs and her education, we went back to California for a little bit. When the kids got to a certain age, we wanted to move out of San Jose, California. And one of the communities we were considering was Winchester, and we're very glad we settled here. We bought our house on October 30th, 2018. We settled on this house. It did not need everything that we needed, but it was recently renovated, and with the option to always eventually build a garage. And that's mainly due to car storage and both our own personal interests in woodworking, sculpting, art, and metalwork of my own. So what we're proposing here is a garage. This was actually proposed 3 years ago in September of 2022. It's attached, but it was due to frontage, we were not allowed to move forward with 2 standalone buildings. I took a time off from that and actually renovated another house in Maine, where I'm originally from. We went back to our architect and we did our own study. The best way to attach it is to attach it via a mudroom. 22 Chester Street, which is just north of us, actually they bought within the last 2 years. They did the exact same design independent of us. So it's a standalone house with the mudroom attaching to a garage.
I just have a quick question. So in the picture, it's right now it's a gray house. It's with a triangular pediment. But the first picture looks like the previous white house would that have been torn down?
Yeah. So if you go to Google Street View, it's
or Zillow or whatever, it shows this white house, and I'm just wondering, out of total curiosity,
sure,
was that totally replaced with the gray house?
So we bought the house in this state.
In this state, okay.
And so my understanding, it was bought in 17 and gutted. It used to be, in essence, a story and a half.
Okay.
Again, the way I understand it was, and I can feel it, the first floor is slightly drafty, but the windows were replaced. Mm-hmm. Second floor and the full third floor are airtight, modern construction, modern that. And we bought it in 18.
Okay. So they gutted it and just made this new house. Okay, but you just bought it the way it
stands today, yeah.
As it stands. Okay.
What you're looking on the left is the way it was presented in the ad. Mm-hmm. The photo on the right was taken 5 weeks ago.
Great. And the drawings, they look really nice.
Yep. They're done by Don Anderson out of Lowell Blueprint.
Where are those again? I mean, it was confusing to me how you were going from 3.7 to 5.9.
So we're at today sub 3,000.
Right.
In terms of square footage, if you include porches, basement, and everything else, that based on the calculations, we're at that. The mud room is 30-something feet by 6 feet.
So you're including. So this new structure has a basement?
No, it does not.
Okay, but the original structure is 3.
The original structure, if you do not include porches and the basement, is sub 3,000.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So, but I guess on my cheat sheet here it says 3.7 per square feet.
Yeah, the building department asked me to include porches and the basement.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right. And the new area is 2,200 square feet in addition.
With the mudroom, the first floor, and then what I consider personally a half story on the top, which is a 12-pitch roof, which is cold storage.
Oh, okay. The workshop will be in the...
It'll be in the back half. So what you're looking at...
of the first floor.
Yeah, so the two-car garage is right there. And in essence, the car space will be the first 24 feet. The back 20 feet will be workshop space.
And you've got 3 openings. It looks, I mean... I couldn't figure it out from the numbers, but looking at the drawing,
Yeah, the back, I do large pieces. My wife does large pieces.
Yeah.
It was either that or double doors.
Yeah.
Just due to ease, we decided to do another garage door that matched.
Yeah.
So that rear garage does not have like a driveway to it? It's just, just landscaped.
Yeah, there's no desire to ever put a vehicle back there. It's mainly meant to, in all honesty, it's mainly to bring in large slab pieces.
Okay.
So it's really a workspace.
The back 20 feet, yes.
What's not a garage?
Correct. The front 2 spaces are, we do plan on putting 2 vehicles in there.
And then the top you could use for work. Well, or I don't know.
We're not sure yet what to do with it. There may be a possibility. The only design change, the historical committee and the design committee both made comments not on this elevation but the other side to add windows within the breezeway to add more sunlight in. It is a very bland side, I could say. The other consideration that has been brought up is those 2 double windows at the top you see there. Potentially making it, depending on cost, making it some sort of a barn thing to
making it what?
Like a barn entrance for any kind of something oversized if it ever needed to get lifted in.
I mean, the windows look nice, but the barn entrances look nice too.
Yep.
So I have 2 questions. The first is I'm looking at the aerial view on Google Maps. and there's a large tree, is that on your lot or on your neighbor's lot, and is that coming down?
So no, there is a large tree. If you are standing at the front of our house,
I'm looking at that, and I see
Yep.
that tree right there. I see that one right.
that's our neighbor's tree. That's
Okay.
an oak tree, and that is not coming down.
Okay.
The other tree, which is the one in the back corner there, I believe technically it's on our property, but it is kind of the thing that separates the four properties. I would not move forward with this project if that tree had to come down.
Okay, good
I'm very
answer.
partial
I like
to
that answer. Second question is, you're adding a lot of hardscape. Oh, sorry, do you want to go back on?
I just wanted to stay on the site plan.
You're adding a lot of hardscape.
There you go, right there.
Currently where is the existing driveway, and how much of that new proposed, where's the existing driveway and where's the proposed driveway start and end?
Sure, so it's not mapped out here, but the existing driveway ends where,
At the porch?
yeah, at the porch,
Okay.
On the left side.
on the left side, yeah, so
So
the
you're just
driveway,
extending it back.
correct.
So I mean, this lot is going to have a significant increase in non-permeable surface area.
It's permeable.
It is permeable.
So just due to,
That's a
if
different,
you had
that's
an
very
opportunity to read the.
I did, but there's an awful lot.
There's
and
a
I-
lot in
And I
there.
didn't necessarily catch that point.
Yeah, just due to, we went back and forth. Initially, I never wanted it to be pavement. We did initially propose doing concrete, just due to it being non-permeable with that concrete, and due to multiple reasons. We were going with a permeable driveway, just due to the size of the water would need to be, the dry well would need to be considerably larger.
Okay.
So that is part of the engineering requirements for the driveway.
Okay. And we don't have engineering comments yet.
Yeah, but he's not going to get a permit without the engine.
I know. I'm just saying that.
It's not our concern.
It's not our concern, yeah. But if we had it and it said that was bad, then we wouldn't want to be voting yes.
Yeah, we would definitely want to be contingent on that. Because
So being contingent on the engineering all working out, how are we feeling about moving forward?
Yep.
I like it.
I mean, it looks great. There's a logical reason that explains the 5,000 square feet, in terms of the art and the all this stuff, and it just looks good. I would recommend favorable action.
Second.
Because
Because it does not
adverse impacts to the
present
community.
a adverse impact on the neighborhood.
We've got a move and a second. Any additional discussion?
Who seconded it?
Any additional discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Votes unanimous. Thank you very much. Good luck
have
on
a
your
good
next
evening.
steps.
Thank you.
Question, if I may, the board, who moved on the Washington Street, and who seconded it? Was it you guys?
I think it was.
Yeah, it wasn't me.
Nick and John?
Wasn't me because I never.
I didn't write it.
Jack and I have retired from making motions.
Yeah, I think
We volleyed it
so
for the
we
others.
moved on Washington Street.
The next, what's the next one in order?
Oh,
Elm Street. Okay. So if you guys could come up for Elm Street, and I'm so sorry you guys are last.
No, they're not. Second to last.
No, the other folks. And I'll let you kick us off, Ian, with what we're looking at. I know we did get revised plans from you guys, and then we'll go from there.
The petitioners proposed the construction of a semi-dormer and front entrance vertical extension of existing non-conforming single-family home as it applies to the premises as 27 Elm Street. The existing non-conformities are the front setback, side setback, open area, lot width, lot area, and lot frontage.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. So if you guys could introduce yourselves and talk a little bit about what you're trying to do.
Yep, I'm Jeff McCroll. I'm my husband Todd Flillo. So we bought this.
I didn't get the names.
Oh, Jeff and Todd. Jeff McCroll and Todd Flillo.
Perfect.
Great. So we bought this adorable little house that unfortunately has been run down for quite some time. So we're trying to bring it back to life. The neighbors were clear to us they didn't want us to tear it down. We were planning to tear it down. So we're looking to do 2 semi-dormers, as they're calling it. One on each side of the house, as you see there. Currently, there's 2 full bedrooms upstairs, but there's only a half bathroom. They don't even have a full bathroom upstairs. So we want to raise those to actually add a closet upstairs. There's no closets. There's one little one. And add 2 bathrooms. And that's really why we're raising it. It doesn't change the lines of the house. Then we're adding a little front covering on the front doorway. We did leave the front windows as is. We actually like that. The change that I think we just found out, the picture on
the design committee, she just mentioned to us. Yeah.
Where your cursor was a second ago, the line that goes all the way down, right above this, right above the front door.
The upper roof line.
Yep.
On the left side.
Yep,
when
right
we had
there.
made the
That's going to be a
she
little bit of
wants-
change, which
yeah,
we
they
agree
want
with.
it to be even at the right side.
Yeah.
Oh, they want it to be even?
Yeah, like it was originally, then we're going to put it back to that, because they asked us to push that dormer back a foot, which we did. So they want, see the original one, it was kind of just that V. Our architect extended it down, so they want it to go back, which we like that better.
Wait a minute, is this how you want it, or are you going to have it go out like that?
It's going to be, that's how it looks, but the one that's going all the way down there above the front door,
Yep.
that's going to go back to that first picture.
Yeah.
Wait, you're,
So it'll
but
be
it's
even with the
covering.
right-
Yeah, it's going to look more like that. It's going to be like a V.
The rake boards.
Yeah.
So you're still going to have the same, like the old part of the house is still going to have
In the front,
the
yeah.
pitched roof.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Equal on,
Yep.
on both sides.
Yep.
And then you're going to make that thing straight? Or
But do you lose part of the addition doing that?
Wait, what are you going to do with that bottom part again?
The over the door?
Over the door, yeah.
Yeah, we're just putting that little covering over the door. So.
No. With the roof line, though, what's going to happen when you get to the end of the old part of the house?
We haven't seen how it is. They just
Well,
made
was
that
the
presentation
recommendation
today.
she
Okay.
just mentioned
So, yeah,
to us
our architect's
walking
gonna
out.
have to.
I mean, it's nice that you're keeping the original
Oh, yeah.
part of the main section, the old section. So whatever they have you do with that little piece,
Yeah.
they might make it straight, or they might, or I don't know.
Yeah, they didn't like it going. We didn't.
Well,
actually-
I know, but the issue, I think what he's saying is what is it going to look
just
like?
preserve,
It's gonna
preserve.
drop off that
You're
stone.
preserving the look of the old house.
Exactly.
Yes, that's the point.
Yeah. Citing everything.
Yeah.
They want
Yeah,
us to be preserved, which
This-
we agree with.
This house and several houses in these streets that are just off Mount Vernon are all of the same period in the early 1900s. And some of them, we've lost a lot of them in the last
this
couple
is
of
good.
decades. And I commend the owners for the efforts that they're making to save this.
Yeah.
It's very important for the community at large, but also particularly this neighborhood to preserve
Are you
preserve the
getting
character.
rid of the wood burning fireplace?
Yeah.
Actually, you don't even have a window.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
there's no
Oh,
fireplace.
actually, I don't think there's
That
a
was for the
fireplace in there
furnace.
anymore.
There's no
no
fireplace.
there's
Yeah.
no fireplace.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the chimney will come out.
It's
but-
very instructive to look at Google Street View. You could go back to 2007 and see what it looked like then. And I don't know if you've done this, but it's very amusing. That's 2007 what it looked like back then.
Okay.
So you've got, I mean,
Yeah,
you and the
it's-
previous owners have cleaned it up a
That's
bit.
why the
Okay.
neighbors are so excited about you.
Jack, I'm convinced. So, do we need more information? I guess.
Hey, is there a reason there are no windows in the new addition? It's just such a straight, flat face. Is it partly because you don't want the neighbors in your?
window there because it's so close to the other property.
Oh, I see. Okay, so
Yeah,
you're sort of like,
that's why
hey,
they suggest-
yeah. Okay.
Did you get, I was at the DRC, and I think you guys represented that you couldn't have a window there because of some fire regulation.
But there was
Yeah.
something they told, and I don't remember exactly what it was, but the concern what I heard, the message that I got was that if we kept the window where it was, we could have, it would be grandfathered in, otherwise.
You could keep it.
Oh.
It looks nice, and you just keep the drapes drawn.
Right.
You know.
Well, the
That's your
problem
kitchen,
is
isn't it?
It's so low, and that's where the kitchen's gonna be, that it
Oh,
would
I
be
see.
showing the front.
And our
inside
neighbors
the
are
cabinet.
wonderful people. They have a
Yeah.
shed right there. It's only 3 feet from the
I mean, if you need sugar, you could just.
Yeah.
Okay, good explanation.
Commission last
Okay.
night was
All right.
enthusiastic.
Not to prolong the
Yeah, I
exercise.
think- yeah.
I would note that the Historical Commission last night was very enthusiastically
Okay.
supportive.
Yeah, thanks
All
for
right.
saving the house.
No, we're very appreciative of the efforts you've made to save the house.
Yeah.
And
That was our goal.
Yeah,
I would move.
We're back in
so
this.
move. So make a motion. I think we're.
Don't call it a comeback.
The plan, I would where am I? Got the wrong page. You guys did all this work and we're not using it. We recommend that
Oh, it's right there.
the favorable action that has no unfavorable impact on the town or the neighborhood, something to that effect.
I would add, and moreover, preserves a historic property in town, so we
The
approve.
historical nature of the neighborhood.
Okay, you're moving that? I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Good luck. Looks great.
Okay. And with that, I'm sorry you guys are last, but not least. This is 57 Hutchinson Road, petition Z25-23. And I'm going to go exact same pattern we've been going. Ian, I'm going to let you kick it off, and then you guys can introduce yourself and tell us what you're doing.
Okay.
And I apologize for the late hour. Thank you for patience.
Thank you.
The petitioners propose the demolition and construction of a single-family dwelling that will not be located on the original footprint and will exceed the gross floor area of the original non-conforming structure as it applies to the premises on 57 Hutchinson Road.
Thank you. So introduce yourselves, please.
Sure.
And,
For the record, my name is Brian McGrail. I'm an attorney here on behalf of Lisa Gatneri and her husband Anthony, who are the owners of the property at 57 Hutchinson Road.
Okay.
Would you like me to...
Yeah, so please tell us a little bit what you're doing about.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the board. So the Gatneris purchased the property at 57 Hutchinson Road within the past year. It currently has a ranch house situated on it. It was built in 1954. It has a couple of different additions to it. It's not in a great condition. It is at the far end of Hutchinson Road across from the golf course, so there are no neighbors across the street, just the golf course. As you face the house on the right-hand side is a fairly large colonial that was built, I would say, approximately within the last 10 years, and then there's a good size, I think it's a cape on the left-hand side. What they're proposing to do is to raise that existing ranch and construct what you see on the screen. We believe it's a very tasteful house for the area. It has good massing. It's not, a McMansion. I think it will fit well within the neighborhood. It has some good square footage. The footprint is the same as the existing house, and in fact, it actually improves the setbacks. The current house does not meet one of the side setback requirements, and this will actually pull it back. When you look at the open area requirements, this is in the Resident District A. The open area requirements are 75%. Currently, there's 84% open area, and as proposed, will be 81%. So not too much of a difference in certainly meeting the zoning requirement. The green space requirement is 35%. It's currently 70%, and once completed, this will be 63%. The hardscape maximum is 35%. The existing is 14%, and this will be 18%, well below the maximum. The build factor is 25. It currently is 22, and as built, it will also be 22. We have appeared at the Design Review Committee. We received unanimous support from them. They liked the style of home. They thought it fit well. That was their comments. And they didn't put any conditions on it. They just recommended straight approval, and they liked the colors that are proposed. We were also at the Historic Commission last night. They've already issued a letter to the building department that they don't have any jurisdiction, and they've told the building department they're free to issue the demolition permit, and they also voted that there would be no historic impact by the project. So with that said, Mr. Chair, we're happy to answer any questions that the board might have.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Appreciate the succinctness.
It does look nice, and it doesn't tear down a historic building, and it seems like it fits into the neighborhood.
It does not.
Oh, okay, it doesn't tear down a historic building. It tears down a building that's not historic.
That's not historic.
Okay.
Right.
Yes.
It's a nice,
I think it's a big improvement on what's there.
yeah, it's a very nice building.
Are
It's
the
very
third-
nice,
I mean,
scaled, it's great.
I think I voted against such a large building in the past because it tore down a historic building and it didn't seem to fit into the neighborhood, but I'm inclined, I guess, as much as I don't like the large houses, this is a nice house, and so it's a different set of facts.
I have a couple of questions. You may have said it, and I may have read it, but now I'm tired. Is it meeting all the so I understand that the lot is not big enough. That's the pre-existing non-conformity.
In the lot width.
In the lot width.
Yeah, that also.
But the setbacks will meet the setback requirements?
Yes, so currently, one of the setbacks is, let me just tell you which one, is you face the house to the right-hand side, the setback requirement, the side setback requirement in this district is 20 feet. So as you face our house, on the right-hand side, we're going to be 29 feet. And the existing house that's there today on the other side is 18 feet. We're pulling this back to 20 feet to meet the requirement.
Okay.
And it will also meet the front yard setback requirement and the rear yard setback requirement.
I just want to make sure it's not increasing any nonconformities. And it sounds like the two nonconformities are the width of the lot and the size of the lot, but all other aspects, dimensional requirements will be met. Correct. Is that correct?
Yes.
Then-
Am I reading correctly? You need to remove 9 trees to do this?
I think it's actually 10, and we're planting 11. And 65 shrubs.
And there's no way to preserve any of the 10 trees?
We hired James Emanuel, he's a landscape architect, he inspected the trees, and I went out there myself, and they're just not worth saving, a lot of them. And they compromise the existing house, and they would make this like not possible. If you go out there, a lot of them are actually growing sideways in different directions.
Oh, we hear all about the troubled trees of Winchester, but I've always got to make a pitch.
But they are replacing them.
You're planting.
Are you replacing any of them with canopy type? Obviously, they won't be tall now, but any of them with canopy trees or ornamentals or what? I know it's all in there, but easier to just ask you than search.
Any beech trees?
I'm going to tell you.
How many of these will flower by spring?
What they're planting, okay, let me see, Carolina silver bell, white dogwood, Japanese red maple, Korean dogwood, sweet bay magnolia, pink flowering dogwood, Patagonia dogwood, and a downy it looks like a shad blow. And they're all good size, they're all 2.5 caliber, 2 to 2.5 caliber.
Okay.
Any additional questions for the applicant?
We are fortunate to have the adjacent neighbors with our, I don't know if they have any comments?
Yeah, are you here for this? Or?
No?
We don't have any comments.
Okay.
Okay. Just to be
I
clear,
want to put you in the spot.
I don't usually invite,
I knew you were here. I thought you were here
for
for this.
ZBA petitions, I don't usually invite them up here.
No, but I just were aware they were sitting there.
Yes. Is anybody prepared to make a motion?
Very nice neighbors.
Recommendation? So if you want to have discussion, I can kick them out of here. If we want discussion, if somebody wants to make them, if anybody wants to have discussion, I can kick them back off the table.
No, I think it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, I think.
So a motion would be nice.
Move that.
The more tired we get, the more we're like. moved.
Will create no adverse impact on the neighborhood or the town.
Recommend favorable action?
Yes.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, appreciate your time.
Thank you very much. With that, it is wicked late, but we have a couple things that absolutely must get done, or else our town meeting warrant won't go ahead. We have minutes, which I'm going to pass over, so in case anybody leaves before that. I'm going to move right to the MBTA motion language discussion. We have in your packet, I think it's the last item in the packet, proposed motion language and background. I don't know if any of you have read it. We must vote to submit this by this week, or else this won't be on the warrant. In the motion book. So I welcome any feedback. I drafted this. The vice chair reviewed it, and it's pretty simple.
What page of the packet?
146 and 147.
Oh, wait a minute. Out of 82.
It's mostly lifted from the rest of the bylaw, right?
That's new.
The only thing that's new is the background. It's the last page in the whole packet. Is the background? Is the only.
Wait, the packet I have is only 82 pages long.
It was updated.
This would be Article 4, by the way.
Article 4, and I updated it, but not on this. It was
I
too.
understand, but it's
Article 4. There's background language, which is pretty simple. I'm hoping to have this not be a long article at town meeting.
See why it would be.
I don't think it should be.
Nobody can see why it would be, Jack, until it's on the floor.
Famous last words. I know, sorry. I don't want to jinx it.
If anybody has
be
anything
nodding.
they'd like to make a change on, we could discuss it. If not, I would welcome a motion to approve the motion language and background to submit to the town hall.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The other thing that is a little time sensitive, I know we have other stuff we can get to. I sent around a memo we received today from schools. I don't know if anybody had a chance to read that.
Quickly.
We talked about this.
It's not in the packet. I sent it out. What?
What was the gist of the memo?
The gist of the memo is
We
that
talked about this before.
we talked about it. We did not vote. I'm going to pull up the memo.
Right.
The school committee has put forward an article at town meeting that is going to be for funding a GIS, funding for GIS, geographical information system that will allow them to do work that they need to get done. And I was at one of their meetings, and I heard they were doing this, and I said, we have GIS work that we'd like to get done. Why don't we get together and all get it done together? So we've had a couple of meetings behind the scenes. We had a meeting earlier this week, or maybe it was last week. Every week is. And they sent us a memo today, and the intent of the article would be to allocate $150,000 from free cash to support consultation services for the school department and the planning department, with $100,000 to fund school department needs for GIS work and $50,000 for planning department needs for GIS work.
What type of work is GIS work?
I will
Maybe that's Taylor.
turn that over to Taylor, because it's something that we've been talking about doing, getting this kind of work move forward, but I don't know.
What is GIS
Yeah,
work?
it's
I mean,
using maps to analyze and create data. So it can be anything as simple as using GIS to create a new zoning map. And it can be as complicated as mapping, this might be of interest to you, mapping all of the historical structures in Winchester and using that data for any purpose you'd like. Our GIS capabilities are slim to none, and having any amount of increased capabilities only benefits not just planning, but the whole town.
Right. And I have to ask, this has nothing to do with the Sanborn House carriage house.
GIS does not. No. No.
I like that you try to link it in wherever you can. That's clever.
So we have been asked if we want to do two things. One, we could support this, which would mean when it came up town meeting,
We have our name / planning board on it.
Are we co-sponsoring it?
Second would be, do we want to co-sponsor it?
Yeah.
The motion language is in here. It technically is past the deadline for us to have it say in the book that we are co-sponsoring it.
Oh, okay.
However, that's a distinction without a difference, because we could stand up there and say we voted to co-sponsor it if we chose to do that. And it would simply be that it doesn't say that in the book, but we'd stand up there and say we voted to co-sponsor it because, and then I would stand up there with help from Taylor of saying what we would do and how this would help us. Having this together in one motion means that there are more people who want to get this work done, and it's more likely to get funded, each of our individual parts, than if we try to do it alone. And there might be some, it's possible there might be some synergy between the two if we use the same consultant, or if it's not impossible. Whereas if we do it on our own by ourselves, first of all, we won't get the funding on our own because everybody loves the schools, and there'll be no synergy. So I would welcome a motion to.
I think we co-sponsor it because I think the strongest position we can take gives us a better shot of actually getting some of the help.
We have an amended motion on the table at the outside, when we.
Or I could simply stand up and say we voted to co-sponsor this, and we didn't make the cutoff. The motion, if we vote to co-sponsor this, I'm going to email them tonight and say tomorrow, probably because it's late, and say we voted to co-sponsor, and ask the town manager if they can, at least in the motion book when it comes out, add us, and if they can't, they can't.
Right. No, that's good.
Motion to co-sponsor the school committee's bill to get funding for a GIS consultant.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, those are the time-sensitive things I had.
Okay, do the rest of them next time, right?
Is there anything else that we need to
I
get
have
done?
something, I'll keep it under 1 minute. It occurred last night at the Historical Commission, speaking of the Carriage House. The Historical Commission would like to form an ad hoc committee to explore means to save the building, perhaps with alternative ideas. And as a result of that discussion, we agreed to form an ad hoc committee composed of representatives of Historical Commission, Planning Board, School Committee, and Select Board, as well as a rep from the Historical Society. I wrote notes to Stephanie Menargi and Paris Bariani today, and they were both very receptive to the idea. Emily Dowling will represent the Historical Commission. I will represent the Planning Board. We would like to have the assistance at some point early on of the planning office, either Taylor or Leanne. And I need to nail down somebody from Historical Society, but we have some solid ideas. We don't want the thing torn down. This is a short story.
No, it sounds great. I mean, we're running out of buildings. I mean, I realize that there aren't that many left, and so we might as well do our best.
That's our intent. So we want to nip this in the bud and save the thing.
Yeah.
Do we need a representative from this body, and is that you?
Yeah, this is all ad hoc. I don't think we need a motion.
All right, I support it.
As long as, let's go around the table. Everybody support Jack doing this?
I support Jack.
So therefore, you also have our support as well, in case that means
It's all
something.
very loose. We're just going to kick ideas around, and if we come up with something that the school committee seems receptive to, then we'll maybe have some action to take in support of it.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Great.
Thank you. Anything else that's pressing for tonight at 10 o'clock at night? And I'm happy if we have, I'm happy. Do you have anything you want?
No, I don't want to.
Okay. I would welcome a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everyone, for what will hopefully be our longest meeting.
Thanks,
of the year.
Brian.
Thank you.
That's okay. I'm telling you.